step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome to your Freedom Day edition of your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And this year, Freedom Month celebrates, I think, an incredible opportunity to reflect on the progress that we have made thus far in transforming our society, while also, I think, examining the challenges, what lies ahead and how much we still need to do and never straying from that path. This year also marks the 150th anniversary of struggle icon and human rights campaigner and an incredible example to us all, Charlotte Maxeke, and she and other selfless women of her generation. They fought against the oppression of a time when such defiance was met with the most unrelenting force. And man, don't we have to hold on to that idea and her memory now more than ever. The theme of this Freedom Day is the year of Charlotte Maxeke, the meaning of freedom under COVID-19. So many questions, but also, as I said, so many opportunities to revel in the freedom that we have fought so hard for in this country. So I hope that's the spirit that's going to carry you through this day, and that you're going to stick around for 3 hours and have a little bit of fun with us. There's a bit of music, there's a little bit of food, and there is loads of laughter. So stick around. Good morning, my fellow South Africans. Happy Freedom Day. Yes.
Good morning, G. Good morning to you, Mzansi. And yes, happy Freedom Day to all of you. I think today is one of those days where we can really just commemorate what this day means to all of us. And so on our social media, we're actually asking you, what does Freedom Day mean to you, to your family? Just, I mean, over these years, just looking back as how far we've come as a nation and just moving in that spirit of Ubuntu. I know you have a very interesting story to tell, so maybe you can share that with us.
I mean, it is a special day, and it's a crazy day at the same sense, because positivity, negativity, there's a lot of emotion mixed around it. Our parents fought for a day like this, but for me it was quite a special day. In 1994 especially, I was in grade 1, which was sub A, and I was actually one of a very few among a few group of people that was allowed to go to a Model C school. So it was the start of a new style of education, a new opportunity to grow, and possibly what got me into the position that I am in today. So a big day for me. It impacted me personally quite dramatically, and it was a big part of my entire childhood. So yeah, a big day that I get to be honestly very, very incredibly grateful for, and I'm sure you guys too. But I'm sure you have a special meaning, especially you Mzansi at home. So let us know on our social media channels. We'd love to know the special story behind what Freedom Day means to you. And before we get into the magic, let's find out first up what's happening in the news with G.
Thank you so much. Well, let's start with the topic of the day. In fact, the topic of the last year. South Africa has announced it will resume its vaccination rollout with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine following a temporary suspension for a possible link between the jab and blood clots. The one-shot vaccine will be administered again starting from tomorrow. It had been put on hold after 6 people in the United States developed blood clots after inoculation, but it has since been established there is only a 1 in a million chance of a clot after the vaccine. All participants will be informed of the potential risk. Meanwhile, Health Minister William Kiza says they hope to vaccinate at least 5.5 million senior citizens by the end of June. People over the age of 60 will be vaccinated in the second phase. He said phase 1 is supposed to end on the 17th of May. Then phase 2 will commence. He said they would attempt to stay within the time frame. Meanwhile, South Africa has recorded 849 new coronavirus infections in the last 24-hour cycle and 38 new COVID-19 related fatalities. On the international front, Italian police have carried out raids across the country, arresting some 30 people suspected of operating for the Nigerian Black Axe Mafia syndicate. Police say those arrested face some 100 charges, including drug and human trafficking, prostitution and internet fraud. The syndicate allegedly used the Bitcoin cryptocurrency to carry out illegal financial transactions. Black Axe emerged from Nigeria in the 1970s and has gone on to build a powerful international network. It's one of the most notorious secret societies to have ever emerged from Nigeria. And staying in Europe, the European Union, the EU, has taken legal action against the coronavirus vaccine manufacturer AstraZeneca. The European Commission, the EU's executive branch, said it was suing the company for not honouring its vaccine supply contract and for lack of a plan to ensure timely deliveries. But AstraZeneca said the move was without merit and would strongly oppose it in court. The legal action marks an escalation in a long-running dispute between the two sides over the supply of coronavirus vaccines. Next, we bring it back home to the mother city, where we have built tunnels for an interesting reason. Cape Town has tunnels built especially for toads. They're believed to be South Africa's first tunnels built especially for these wee creatures. The two tunnels have been built near Zeekoevlei to prevent endangered western leopard toads from being crushed by vehicles when they attempt to cross the road. What is more, 3 further tunnels are being planned and walls will be built to guide the toads into them when they migrate towards the Vlei during breeding season, which happens in August. Louise Baldwin, Conservation Manager of the Cape Town Environmental Education Trust, which is in charge of the Western Cape Leopard Toad Underpass project, said 5 underpass tunnels are planned for installation along the road, with 2 tunnels 50 metres apart being installed this season. And she added, and we quote, "During the breeding season, we will monitor these tunnels to ascertain the number of toads utilising them and determine if there is a decrease in road mortalities in the area." The Western Cape's Western Leopard Toad is in fact on the red list of the International Union for Conservation of Nature, so kudos for those efforts. That's where we leave our news for now. Let's do a bit of a recap of our sporting action from yesterday. Back into round 5 of varsity rugby. UCT's Ikeys, they thrashed CUT 76-5 in a top-of-the-table varsity cup clash at the Tuks Stadium yesterday. Ikeys scoring 12 tries on the day, 3 of them coming from fullback Ati Ghazi. In the second match, UP Tuks, they survived a late scare from UWC to claim a hard-fought 31-25 win over the team from the Western Cape. Then there'll be 3 varsity cup fixtures today as UJ take on the UFS Shimlas. That's at 3 p.m. and then bottom of the log Wits, they'll take on the Madibas at 5 p.m. and then defending champions Marties, they'll be looking for that playoff spot as they face the NWU Eagles at 7 p.m. And back to the IPL, England's captain Owen Morgan, he guided his Kolkata Knight Riders to a 5-wicket victory over the Punjab Kings. That was at the Narendra Modi Stadium in the Indian Premier League yesterday. Punjab posting a meagre total of 123 for 9 in their 20 overs. Morgan hitting 47 from 40 deliveries and Rahul Tripathi hitting 41 from 32 balls, leading KKR to a 126 total for 5 and to that comfortable win in the end. In the IPL today, it's the Delhi Capitals taking on the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and that kicks off at 4 p.m. And some football on offer last night in the Premier League. Leicester City, they claimed a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace at their home King Power Stadium in the English Premier League late last night. Wilfred Zaha, he opened the scoring in the 12th minute to give Palace the early lead. Then Timothy Castaigne equalised for the Foxes in the 50th minute to make it 1 apiece, and then the man of the moment, Kelechi Iheanacho, he scored the winner in the 80th minute to make it 2-1. That win leaves Leicester 3rd in the league, but now 7 points clear of 5th placed West Ham United, with 5 fixtures still to go. So all the Premier League action will continue on Friday. This one's going to go down to the wire for those Champions League spots. That's where we leave our sports. Let's greet this Freedom Day by looking at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you so much, Mr. G-Man. Yes, we are kickstarting this morning of Freedom Day by, of course, sharing some of the stunning sunrise submissions received from you. Now, the first one, Katlego Tempo from Polokwane, captured this gorgeous silhouetted image showing hues of blue and orange mixed amongst the clouds. Absolutely stunning. Now, for you, Polokwane, you can expect a pleasant day ahead with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. And then Letlego Bridget from Nailstrom, also known as Modimole, shared this lovely pastel-hued skyline, as you can see. Now, today will be filled with an abundance of sunshine, reaching a hot 30 degrees Celsius. Please do keep the sunscreen handy, as well as ensure you stay hydrated if you are going to be outdoors today. And of course, if you too would like to be featured during our sunrise segment, it really is very simple. All you need to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your sunrise photo with us. And who knows, you may just see your photo here next time. Now, we also have a growing community of international viewers who tune in daily via the Africa channel and and YouTube. And our first international city we are featuring this morning is the capital of Michigan, the city of Lansing. Now, Lansing is an important center for educational, cultural, governmental, commercial, and also industrial functions. Winters in this area are cold with moderate to heavy snowfall, while summers are very warm and humid. Today's conditions will be partly cloudy, reaching a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. Now, in other news, Fagradalsfell volcano in Iceland has been erupting for just over a month now, the first eruption of its kind in more than 800 years. Now, multiple fissures have opened up during a series of eruptions, oozing lava, resulting in the scorching blanket of molten rock. Now, for now, Icelandic authorities are permitting people to visit the site because the lava isn't flowing fast enough to pose an immediate danger, although toxic sulfur dioxide released from the magma is causing a surge in air pollution in the area. And while thousands of people have visited to take in the amazing views, others had more specific goals in mind. Icelandic band Kaleo hiked up to the lava streams to shoot a live performance, and at least one couple have been filmed getting married there. It sounds like something Nature Boy would do, but we're going to leave it right there in Iceland. Right now it's time to bring it back home and have a first look at the temperatures for today. We start off with Polokwane. Do expect a low of 12 today, peaking at 28 degrees. Umbumbela, for you, it is a range of 14 to 34. Pretoria, if you're out and about, expect a low of 13 and a high of 27. Johannesburg ranges from 11 to 25 today. Mahikeng, 11:29. Klerksdorp, 9:30. Kimberley coming through with a minimum of 9 and a maximum of 27. And then Bloemfontein ranges from 6 to 26 today. Richards Bay ranges from 20 to 31. Pietermaritzburg, 15:32. South Africa's Playground Durban with a minimum of 21 and a maximum of 31. Mthatha, 13:30 and a 25% chance of rain today. East London coming through with a low of 15, peaking at 23. Cradock, 8:27. Gqeberha, 13:21. For you, George, it is a low of 12 and a high of 20 with a 55% chance of rain. For the mother city, Cape Town, it ranges from 13 to 20 today, as well as a 55% chance of rain. Worcester, a 9:22. Sutherland coming through with a low of 5, peaking at 15. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington with a minimum of 13 and a maximum of 26. Wherever you do find yourself on this Tuesday, happy Freedom Day to all of you.
And to you, Miss Domberg, I dig your story from earlier, man.
Cool, eh?
It's
How
just
crazy.
so cool. I can remember that time as well. And we'll get into our special meeting. Each of us obviously have a very deep emotional connection to Freedom Day. But right now, let's talk about the home, because everyone's going to be home today.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit colder, and I think throws are a great way of decorating, great accessories to use to provide a bit of warmth, a bit of comfort. I think probably one of the easiest ways to turn your bedroom or your lounge, any space, into a warm sanctuary for the winter months. I feel like a Roman emperor.
I just embracing this one. You clearly found your favorite.
Yeah, no, this is my
it's
guy.
exactly what
I'm
I feel. And the fleece throws are also awesome for me. They're extremely popular. It's got warmth, it's got comfort, it's got everything that you love. And most things that I love about it is actually also affordable.
Yeah.
Although it looks so luxe and it looks like I can only choose one, you'll be surprised at the price just alone. You probably get an array of them.
Rub it on your cheek, dude. Just put your like, ah.
You didn't even have to ask.
I love it.
I might fall asleep though, be careful.
This is so cool, man. Obviously, lots of different covers. You can get them, different textures, different hues, and the waffle fleece being one of the really cool kind of designs. And
Yours is like the shaggy design,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's the shaggy. And
It wasn't me.
It's so soft, man. I always remember my cat that passed away used to think that this was an animal and used to lick it.
Oh, yeah.
It was so luxurious.
That's a lot of licking, eh? To get through that.
You can imagine, you just pop this in the lounge and it's not like too much, it's not too heavy, and it's also quite decorative, quite beautiful. I love that you can get, wrap yourself up in it, a nice hot chocolate, beautiful. Absolutely love the shaggy, but the waffle's good as well, dude.
I'm happy with my waffle. But of course, you viewers, you need to let us know which throw you prefer during the winter months. Now, head over to the Expresso Facebook page and comment on the poll post. So we're going to find out from you which one of these you think is the best.
Shaggy.
Waffle, or you're going to go with the shaggy, of course. Now, you can buy both of these throws and more of the variety right at Woolworths. And of course, it's in-store, online, and on the app. So what are you waiting for? Get voting and let us know which is the best.
Shaggy.
Waffle.
You can make my day.
Welcome back. You're live on Expresso as we celebrate Freedom Day today, an opportunity to feel incredibly proud, but also a chance to cast our minds back and to see how much has been sacrificed for the freedom that so many enjoy in this country right now. Born 150 years ago, that's an incredible kind of milestone in itself. Ms. Charlotte Maxeke, she broke boundaries, in fact, by being the first black South African woman to obtain a BSc, which at the time would have seemed like an impossible feat. She has been dubbed the mother of black freedom in our country, understandably. And of course, we celebrate her, and as a commemorative year, 2021 celebrates her and her incredible life and achievements. And the government and I think the entire nation have an opportunity to revel in this over Mzansi's Freedom Month. And we are now joined by a woman who, in fact, is also blazing her own path. She set a record for obtaining the youngest female PhD in Africa at the age of just 23
I'm trying to see, is this
old.
a typo or not? 23.
I'm working back
This is insane.
when she would have started.
Wow.
Dr. Musa Sarombe, who is appropriately an ambassador for the Charlotte Maxeke Institute, and we're going to chat to her about remembering the legacy, about I think fighting for that legacy now more than ever. And we wish the good doctor a very good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, so good. You look like you're glowing. You look like you're wide awake, and I'm so excited to chat to you. Thank you for sharing your time with us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, so I've got to ask you, I want to go straight into it. The Charlotte Maxeke Foundation, how does it work? How are you upholding it? It sounds absolutely incredible, and it sounds like it's at the cornerstone of the MME Charlotte's legacy, which is in South Africa. But can you tell me more about it?
Okay, so at the Charlotte Maxeke Institute, what we basically do is honor the legacy. And as you've already introduced her, I'm sure all the viewers and listeners can tell what a phenomenal and colossal figure she was, you know, and she made so many strides in ensuring the emancipation of women, of, you know, people of different demographics, not only locally, but also around the world. She left a global footprint, which in fact put South Africa as well on the map. And wherever she went, she was always so selfless in her work. This is what she preached, and this is what was so dear to her heart. And it's important for us at the Institute to continue to commemorate every effort that she made and apply it to the society we currently live in.
I'm glad you mentioned the society that we currently live in, because when you look back to the time when she achieved what she did, fighting on two fronts for the rights of women and on a racial front as well, it is mind-blowing that she was able to do what she did, putting it into context. But we need that voice now, especially now more than ever. There must be a personal connection for you. Why have you chosen to serve as an ambassador for the Institute? Why is this so important to you?
There absolutely is a connection, and it was such an honor for me to be invited to be a part of this institute. And I believe the reason why I was given this opportunity is because of, you know, some of the accolades that I've achieved, which speak to what Mom Charlotte espoused as a person. And one of the greatest or the most significant factors that she held dear to her heart was education in our societies, in our communities, and how it can change not only, you know, at a local scale, but also internationally. It allows you a voice, it gives you a platform, and allows you to participate in what we now know as the global village. And so for me, it is on the education front, and just as a strong believer that women and young people need to get more opportunity to break through some of the barriers that we find in our daily lives and in our society.
And I have a feeling she would have loved you. I have a feeling she would have loved what you've done and what you've been able to achieve.
I can't disagree with you there, G. And the fact that we're working on that global village, which I love, that concept sounds so true to me. So the fact that it's obviously so important to commemorate this incredible woman, and with your institution also being involved in it, how are they commemorating her 150th birthday, which is obviously taking place this April? And what sort of events do you guys still have set for the year?
Definitely. We have been hosting a series of dialogues since the beginning of the year. And also this week, we've had several events where we've commemorated her and had profound discussions as to what it meant for her living in her time, making the strides that she made, and just trying to, conjure in our minds what she would have wanted to see us achieve in our society today. Remember, we stand on her shoulders as a giant, and we need to perpetuate the work that she started. Otherwise, it would have been in vain. So we're really just upholding her legacy throughout this month and commemorating her, celebrating her as the phenomenal woman that she was. We have so many events for the rest of the year. We try to have something specific to each month. Next month, we will have what we call as the continent of light. We will be promoting Africa as a continent of light. One of her most profound sayings was that she wished that Africa would not be known as the continent of darkness, but the continent of light. And so we'll be celebrating that and upholding that, next month. In June, we know it as the Youth Month. We will also be having dialogues between her voice and the young people today, and exactly what contributions are being made by young people to ensure that her legacy is upheld and we carry on the race which she so gracefully begun. In July, we'll also have the legacy of giving back. We know Mom Charlotte was such a giver, so selfless, and she did so much for her communities, and we are gonna commemorate that as well. In August, we have one of my favorite events, that's the Woman of First Awards. I'm one of the recipients of the Inception Awards from 2018, where we honor women who have broken grounds and pioneered various, achievements and accolades, breaking through glass ceilings and barriers throughout the country. And it will be a phenomenal event as well. In September, we know it's Heritage Month, so we will be celebrating that because we know how important it was for Mom Charlotte, no matter where she went throughout the globe, to maintain her identity. And so we're gonna be celebrating her and Heritage Month. In October, we have a leadership seminar because we understand the importance of honing a leader's skills so that they're able to harness the inherent skill and grow also as a leader. We also have one of my other favorite Mother of All Golf Days in November, which we've been hosting for the last several years every November. And that's an opportunity to network, and it's just fun as well. That's the most amazing part of it. In December, we'll have a music festival, and this will be one of the new additions to our programs. And I'm really looking forward to that as well. If you know Mom Charlotte, she was a great musician, and she even sung in the UK. She was part of a choir that was singing there. So we're really looking forward to all these events throughout the rest of the year.
They sound absolutely phenomenal. I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking, Musa? The joy of you attaining your degree so young means you can move on to a second career now in politics. Please, will you look to that glass ceiling and smash through that? What an absolute pleasure connecting with you this morning, and keep fighting the good fight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. The honor is all mine.
An educational time and an opportunity to learn about the great contributions Miss Charlotte made to the development of the Black consciousness movement, not just for the rights of women in our country. And we hope you spend some time reflecting on her legacy.
What a beautiful way to celebrate Mom Charlotte this morning here, of course, on Freedom Day. But we're also going to be doing #Travel Tuesdays here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we are exploring the beautiful country of Nicaragua with some beautiful coffee this morning. And I know someone that who needs coffee this morning. It's a Tuesday, this early morning, is Mr. G-Man himself. So G-Man, I'm going to invite you in right now.
Please, give me
I need you to smell this beauty. I'm gonna make it. We are traveling to Nicaragua today.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Are you
I'm up
ready?
for that, eh?
Look at that. Just look at the packaging first before.
La completa refinada.
Have you had a cup of coffee yet?
I have. I've had a couple, but I haven't had one of these yet, so it's great.
Well, listen,
You're gonna
hashtag
make me
Travel
one.
Tuesdays follows the coffee aroma all the way to Nicaragua, like I mentioned. Now, this South American country is well known for producing specialty coffee beans of the highest quality. It's also the origin of Nespresso's new limited edition Master Origins La Completa Refinada coffee. What makes this coffee so special? I'm sure you're asking yourself at home. Well, the unique fermentation process that the coffee beans go through before the coffee reaches your cup makes for just the perfect process at all.
Yeah, and I love this. Like they really do kind of hone in on the artisanal craft of the coffee farmers when they produce the coffee. And it's not just about having the right cultivar, getting the right, coffee, the berry in the right area, on the right terrain, but how they deal with it post that. And this is fermented, which gives it a completely different coffee profile. And can you believe the coffee beans are actually coated in a yeast, put in special containers, and then they're allowed to ferment for 72 hours, which gives it a completely different, I would imagine, because I haven't got one. Are you going to make me one this morning?
I was going to make you one, but you just came in and yes, there's already a pot in.
Is there a pot? Thank you, dear.
There you go, I'm going to place it in. And then the base part, obviously, it is then, like you said, fermented for 72 hours in a special container, but before being dried in the sun for 2 days. So then all of that goes in. The result, of course, is a smooth and mild, vibrant and very fruity coffee that is simply delicious, and you get to taste it as soon as it's done. I already have mine because you were getting into a good conversation.
That was a fantastic. Dr. Musa is just like a phenomenally mind-blowingly talented person. But what I love about, if you look at your sleeve, it'll give you all the information that you need to know before buying. So that's obviously all of the recycle instructions, and you can, when you order online, just to even save you going to one of their boutiques, you can ask for and they can give you one of their packets for recycling, and you can drop that off at a boutique, or they can pick it up when they make their delivery. But here you can see it's a flavor intensity 5, so it's kind of middle of the road, nicely balanced, nice fruity candied flavor, and it's suitable for the espresso or for the lungo. So this is actually a great introductory coffee if you want to get into your Nespresso range.
There we go.
And look at that.
And?
Okay, you can't, in these gorgeous little mugs, you can't see
can't
the
really see
crema, but it's
I've
beautiful.
been, wait. I've been waiting for you. Can you see I have no lipstick stain? I need to drink this together. Here we go.
Thank you. I
First
appreciate
cup
that.
of coffee.
Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful aroma. It's got a fruitiness to it, eh?
It's the cherries. It's the cherries really giving that bold flavor coming through.
Oh, that's lovely. That was really
That is
hot.
lovely.
Beautiful.
Oopsie.
Oh, that is lovely.
Cheers to you.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
Only you can make my day.
welcome back, you beautiful souls. You're tuned in and opening up with S3 right here, and we are celebrating Freedom Day. Now, earlier, we learned a little bit about the remarkable achievements and incredible work done by Ma'am Charlotte Manya Matleke, and a pioneering South African woman who grasped every opportunity presented to her and accomplishing many notable firsts during her lifetime. Now, she once said the following wise words about upliftment.
She said, this work is not for yourselves. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people, but live with them. And if you can rise, bring someone with you. How beautiful, especially for today, that where you go forward, always, you know, reach out and help someone else with you on this journey.
So true. And the fact that it's also representing something that's bigger than you. Put aside your selfish desires, look at a bigger picture, and community can achieve almost anything. And look what it allowed for us and our generation to achieve right now. And I'm hoping that we can take that baton and just keep it going on, especially on a day like this when we need to reflect on something so special, yeah?
Well, we're going to be celebrating more of the magic of Freedom Day. And I see the boys have something interesting up their sleeves. Boys, what are you guys up to?
The nationwide movement called Up We Go Mzansi, led by volunteer activists from the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture's Social Cohesion Advocates Program, is calling on all South Africans to come together to build a caring society based on shared values and visions.
So important. And on a beautiful day like this, Freedom Day, they're releasing their anthem called Bayete Mzansi, sung by the Mzansi Youth Choir and PJ Powers.
Wow.
And we're being joined by some incredible people via video call. Eleni Rateb is here representing Up We Go Mzansi alongside soloists from the Mzansi Youth Choir. We've got Zoe Gulwa and Tando Matiwane to share more about all of this. Welcome, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Morning.
I love the fact that you guys got your crews there. Eleni, where's your crew, man? You need your backing team behind you. But so good to be...
They are my crew. They are my crew.
But
if you look behind me, our logo actually represents the whole crew required for this Up We Go Mzansi movement, which is all South African people together.
I love that. Maybe feeding out of that, you can give us your vision. What is the overall mission of the Social Cohesion Advocates Program? And how was the idea for the Up We Go Mzansi movement born? Where did it come from?
The Social Cohesion Advocates Program is set up within the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. And the Minister invites volunteer activists to join the program so that we can work collectively to try and increase nation building and social cohesiveness in South Africa. We've come together to create this movement, and in all honesty, this specific name of this movement and the way it's come together originates out of the origins of the song. The mission of Up We Go Mzansi movement is that we need to call all people living in South Africa, regardless of race, culture, gender, age, or faith, to come together and harness our collective talents and strengths and move South Africa upwards together.
This feels like 95.
Yeah,
This
you're on the
feels like
podium right now, Eleni.
95,
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. This kind of takes me back to a magical time in our country's journey that we do need to tap into again.
Yeah.
I love that.
It is so powerful. Honestly, I'm lifted, and it's a good day to be lifted on Freedom Day. But I know there are some talents around you, Eleni, like Zoe. I want to focus on you for a second. The impassioned lyrics inspire South Africans to band together to elevate our society. Now, how was the song Bayete Mzansi written in order to sincerely convey this message and call to action and uplift the way it does?
So the lyrics of the song really, they explain that we all have the power to change this country and celebrate this freedom. And us, as the people of this country, we are not animals, but we're human beings, and we can change this country and make it better, regardless of our different races, age, cultures, backgrounds, you know, and we can all be together and unite so that this country is better and we share this freedom that we have.
I love it, man. And what a platform to be able to do it on as well. I'm so glad that you're getting the investment in what you are trying to achieve. Tando, I'm going to turn to you now, but I've got to ask, what was it like shooting the music video, first of all, being a part of that creative process? And then I get starstruck whenever I'm around her. What was it like being in the presence of the legend that is PJ Powers?
Well, shooting the music video was very exciting and quite educational, mainly because of the venue where we shot the music video at. Being in Freedom Park in Pretoria was very inspirational because I believe Freedom Park is the heart and soul of South Africa, which pushes the idea of unity. We are moving away the differences in terms of the color of our skin, our cultures, and different religions. But with this song, we are pushing a motive of bringing ourselves together as the country. Now, coming to the part of being Umama PJ Powers, she's just a phenomenal woman with an amazing energy. Her energy fills the whole place with joy. You can see for yourself in the video, it's all smiles and happiness.
Tando, I dig your vibe, buddy. So I'm going to take a liberty here.
Okay, go for it.
And because you've got a squad, I'm going to ask both of the squads behind you, Zoe, as well, if you can give us a resounding, you can sing it if you like. Can you say, Happy Freedom Day, South Africa, and say it loud and say it proud? You see, they can move. You were all looking so serious.
They were all like just standing up right like that. Yeah.
I love it, man. We love all of you for what you are doing right now. Revel in this amazing moment and this day. Such a pleasure catching up with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you too for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Up we go. Mzansi is rallying South Africans together. And as you heard, so many beautiful words of unity. And we need to join forces to propel our country forwards and upwards. Happy Freedom Day.
Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, listen, get ready for your spirits to soar on this joyous Freedom Day as we enjoy the music video for the rousing Up We Go Mzansi anthem by Yeta Mzansi, performed by the incomparable PJ Powers and the vibrant Mzansi Youth Choir.
We are the power of one, and this is our country where we belong. This song to you, my brothers, my sisters, come sing with me in unity. As we stand strong, you can feel the power. We're taking us higher, higher and higher. Up we go. Baete, Mzansi, Baete,
Wow.
How awesome is that?
Yo, hitting all the fields this morning.
And it's only just the beginning for the Up We Go Mzansi movement. Now, you can keep updated on the exciting campaign and initiatives with the hashtag Up We Go Mzansi. And obviously by visiting their website, upwego.org.za.
I just want to dance. I just want to dance.
Mama, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's been an awesome show. We promised you a lot of laughter and we've been loving it. We've been reveling in Freedom Day, so hopefully you are doing the same and really enjoying your public holiday today. So tough decisions. Earlier we gave you guys the chance to vote for your favorite throw to use during those winter months ahead. What did you get there? You got the waffle.
I got the waffle, of course, man. It's smooth, it's luxurious, it's warm, it's got the comfort, it's everything I need. And I think it's everything that Mzansi might need. And I don't know about you. What do you think about your shaggy over there?
I think the shag has to win this morning, but I believe it is over to our viewers to decide. So let's see what you guys had to say. Which was your favorite? Did you go with the waffle? Did you go with the shag?
And it looks like, well, I've just got a couple comments coming in through here. I see
people clearly are.
Robler saying waffles. I see Celeste saying it's definitely the waffle. I see Julie saying, oh, definitely the waffle.
Get out of here.
Gee,
Come
I'm
on,
just
man.
seeing waffles out here, man. It looks like ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We have a winner.
Well done, Waffle. Shag, you are awesome, man. You're awesome. You're still my favorite. Got to go with the Shaggy. But I think it's safe to say that with most people curling up clearly with the waffle fleece, the ultimate warmth, the ultimate comfort, an oh so warm and cozy way of enjoying your public holiday today.
Yeah,
so
man.
go and do it. And here is some good news. If you go and get your favorite throw today, you can get 20% off 2 selected bedding, blankets or throws at Woolworths. This offer is available up until the 2nd of May this year. And of course, you can shop all of these and your favorite looks in-store, online, or on the app. I'll see you
Don't
there.
mind me, you go
I'll
on,
see you at
G.
the end
I'm
of the show.
enjoying myself,
I'll see you
yeah.
at the end of the show.
Now that we are nice and warm and cozy in the lounge, it's time to get warm and cozy in the kitchen because we're about to make a Be Well tomato skillet fish. It sounds amazing. It's infused with some spices. It's going to warm you from the inside out, all for that comfort food. And of course, Teresa is here to share us exactly how to make this beautiful dish. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. I was literally like getting my tablet ready and I was like, you got this. You got everything. It
We're
smells amazing
all
in here.
sorted, yes, yes. So this is a beautiful family dish using everyday ingredients, but it's got a bit of a gourmet feel, which is very special.
Like that, the extra that we all need for today.
Yes,
bit of extra.
definitely. So I'm going to ask you to start with our spice mix. We're going to make a blend which will go into our sauce and on our fish.
So we have some cayenne pepper
Yes.
going in. I'm becoming a bit more experimental with my spices after being in the kitchen with you and
Yes.
everyone else.
You
So
must
we have
play with spices.
definitely. So we have some turmeric as well,
Yep.
some cumin,
Yep,
and then this
beautiful.
one caught me by surprise because I was like, I don't know, I can't get that, but that is dill, you said.
Oh, yes, which
So-
goes beautifully with fish.
Perfect. So that's going to go
So you can
in.
just mix that together. I've just put some of our Be Well canola oil into our pot with some onions. I'm going to slice up some garlic to add in there.
And we know that it is endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa. So great.
That's right.
Great for you, high in omega-3 as well.
Brilliant.
All the boxes for us.
Okay, so I'm just softening our onions here.
Thank
Let's add our red pepper. Oh, that looks beautiful.
And this is going to be a paste pot, or is this going to be added in after?
That'll be going onto our fish
Okay.
and then into our pot as well. So
Yum.
half. That's smelling beautiful. I'm going to throw in our garlic. And you just want to soften everything here.
And I'm just thinking it's so important for us to use the garlic now. Winter season is coming. We had little kids, both had a tummy bug with runny noses, so that garlic getting all of that goodness in the food while you can.
That's it, exactly. Boost it where you can. All right, I'm going to put some of that into our pot. So just about half of it, just to let those spices release their flavors. Would you like to sprinkle the rest over our fish?
On our fish. And so what piece of fish are we using today?
So we're using hake. You can use any sustainable fish and make sure that it is sustainable, of course.
Definitely.
All
And hake
right,
is such a beautiful fish. It's not going to become too flaky. It's still going to keep the fish intact.
Exactly, right. That's looking beautiful. I'm going to add some chopped tomatoes now. So this is going to be our sauce. I'm also going to add some tomato paste. And a little bit of sugar just to offset that acidity.
Teresa, do you want me to flip the fish around as well, put it on the other side? Or is there no
right.
need?
We can leave it like that, yeah.
Okay, we can leave it.
Okay, that's looking great. Then I'm
It's
just going to
smelling
slice
good.
this up. So just slice up your pieces, and this is going to go into our sauce. I'm actually going to switch knives here. It's a little bit sharper. There we go. And then just pop this into your sauce. So you can let your sauce thicken for a couple of minutes, and then pop your fish in. And then you let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes until the fish is cooked through.
Can I ask you a silly question? Because yesterday we did something, with Chef Clem. We actually fried the fricadelle first and then got the coating on the on the protein first.
Yes.
What would happen if we actually fried the fish first with the spices and then we did the sauce and then put the fish back in? Would that help develop the flavors, or is this also the perfect way to...
You could do it either way. What I would do then is just cook the sauce for a little bit longer. You'd only need to add the fish right at the end. You wouldn't want to overcook it and make it dry. Yeah. So this will cook for about 15 minutes. And if it looks like it's getting a bit dry or too thick, you can add a splash of water, some stock, or maybe some cream if you want it to be a little bit decadent. And of course, we're not limited to fish. We could use chicken, we could use roasted vegetables if you wanted a veggie option.
Definitely.
So a lot of options there. So just cover it, let it simmer. And then in about 20 minutes, you have a beautiful meal which you can serve with bread, with rice.
I am going...
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Don't mind me, I'm coming in right here because I see you have some nice bread here as well.
Oh, lovely winter meal.
If you want to get your hands on this recipe, expressoshow.com is where it's at. I'm just like trying to... How do I do this?
Dig in.
Trying to...
And I think the whole family would love it.
Nice and tangy, the tomatoes coming in beautifully. That fish is cooked beautiful. I wouldn't do it any other way. This is the perfect way to do it. Brilliant. If you didn't follow on the steps, expressoshow.com is where it's happening. And I think it's just so beautiful for this Freedom Day. Yummy. One more. Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're still opening up here on S3, and it's all about Freedom Day, but it's time to meet an amazing performer now, finding her voice in the church choir as a young artist. Noza Shichelwana started singing in jazz clubs at the tender age of 15 years old to expand her repertoire and her impressively wide vocal range. She's here to bless us with her unique genre of traditional African fusion throughout the morning on this glorious Freedom Day. But before that, we're catching up with this talented performing artist to find out what she's been getting up to. Good morning, Mama.
Good morning.
You look stunning.
Thank
you. Really do. I
Thank you
love
so
this.
much.
Vibrant, it's alive, it's popping.
I had to bring them up. I had to bring them up because early morning is like everybody's sleeping, and then you just walk in and you're like, sunshine.
Well, if Zanzi just woke up and saw you, they're definitely wide awake now.
Right?
I can guarantee you that. So let's get into things, because we often don't have enough time, and I wish I could speak to you the entire day. But COVID-19, obviously, before we get into the good stuff, it's obviously was coming at a time when you were working on your album, I believe, right?
Yes.
And that put some setbacks on things. But we're back, and you're still making some magic with it. How far are we in that process? How close are we to getting a full album from you?
You know, the only thing that we actually made us to put a hold on the whole thing was that we couldn't meet.
Yeah.
But then the writing process still carried on, because you can sit home and like kind of get things together. So when we had a chance to meet again, we knew where to start. So at this moment, we just ready to get back into studio and finish up on a couple of songs and see if we could release the album by the end of September into October, and maybe take it on a tour. But our main focus with this album is that we want to take people through the journey before lockdown into lockdown, so that people know our feelings and how musicians went through a lot around lockdown, and we had a lot to tell, and that's what people should expect from this album. But now we're back in studio and trying to get it out there.
You are working, girl. You are just putting in the time, because you're busy rebranding who you are, telling a different story, like you said. What does that mean for rebranding Noza?
You know, after so many years doing music, I started 2002 already, and there's always been this confusion of who you really want to be, how do you want to look like, and what sound do you want to bring out to the people. And I've always been seen as this blues artist. People will see me in blues gigs, and people will see me in rock blues gigs and all that. And now I want people to know exactly my roots. So rebranding is not actually completely rebranding. I just want to take it back to the village girl. I want to take it back to Unolali. Then people should see the village with the looks, with the sound, and just tell people that this is where it started. So the rebranding is basically going back to the roots. Yeah.
I love that.
Girl,
I love that. The reintroduction to Noza, this is who I am, and you're letting the people know. So let's talk about this album, and it's what I believe a traditional but sort of a blend of like African fusion. I mean, looking at you, feeling you already, I can feel that exuding. But let's talk about the work and the music. I mean, who would it resonate with, and what does it really speak?
It would speak to an old gogo at home. I speak Xhosa, so it will speak to an old gogo at home. It will remind them of the small or little girl that I was running around the streets and singing harmonies, and everybody heard me. It will speak to my first blues gigs that I did in the Western Cape into that African sound. I will fuse my blues and my jazz. It will speak to the first person I ever worked with in Cape Town, and you will get to feel the Langa, Guguletu, Sophia Town type of feel. So I want to bring out all the elements that I've traveled through the years in the album. I want the young kids that are listening to a lot of Mapiano and Gqom these days, and I want to show them that you can still slow down and take it easy in the music and still listen to something that actually gives you a message. You know, a message is important in everything that we play, even though Mapiano or Gqom still has the message, because a lot of those songs have the message, but this one says, lay back a little, or find that African groove in you. you know? That's all the album is going to
I love that.
be
It's
about.
like, just take a moment to just recalibrate,
Yeah.
find your roots, reconnect, and then just let it out.
Slow down, just connect with
Old
the
or
soul
young.
again.
Old or young.
Just doing all of that. Now, I believe later today you're performing alongside Warrangs and Ashley Hilton and the Stash Band at the Daisy Jones Bar out in Stellenbosch.
Yes.
There will be a crew live filming the show. Tell us a bit more about that and where people can get involved and watch you guys.
The show actually, we're kind of like chatting about how the show would be, and how exciting is that I'm working with two artists that I've known for years, like throughout my entire musical years. Warrangs, I even used to be in a band with him back in 2006. And Ashley, we actually met completely off music, and it's such an inspiration to actually be around those kind of artists. And we were talking with Jessica and Conrad at another gig in Stellenbosch, and they were like, listen, we know that you're working on an album, but how about we actually record this next album live, and we want to bring out the audio and vocals of this album, of what's about to come, you know? So basically, this is going to be like a snip of what's going to happen at the end of the year. So everybody's going to be there, crew's going to be there, a huge recording is going to happen. They've got this huge panel recording set in Daisy Jones, the most beautiful venue I've ever been in Cape Town, and it's going to be soon out, and people will see what we're getting up to this afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, that's enough excitement for me and the
we
rest
want to
of
get people
Zanzi.
involved.
Definitely.
Yeah, we want to get it. We want to get the crowd involved in the making of this live show.
Oh, yeah, well, and I think the rest of Zanzi is going to get involved as well, because
Definitely.
don't go anywhere. We've got Noza. She's going to be performing something incredible later on with the rest of the crew, so don't go anywhere. But before we do, it's fun on a round up with the news.
Thanks so much, team. Let's start here in South Africa. On a very positive note, President Cyril Ramaphosa says in his weekly letter that the fight against climate change is on track and is considered a national priority. He says there are plans to gradually reduce carbon emissions from 2025, a decade earlier than expected. Ramaphosa, along with more than 40 world leaders, participated in a climate summit convened by US President Joe Biden last week. He says the devastating effects of climate change on human lives can be clearly seen in the ongoing droughts in parts of the eastern, northern and western Cape. Then South Africa has announced it will resume its vaccination rollout with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine following that temporary suspension for the possible link between the jab and blood clots. The one-shot vaccine will be administered again starting tomorrow. It had been put on hold after 6 people in the United States developed blood clots after inoculation, but it has since been established there is only a 1 in a million chance of a clot forming after the vaccine is taken, and all participants will be informed of the potential risk. And staying with international news, the United Kingdom has announced that it has imposed sanctions against the controversial Gupta family and their associate Salim Essa. This was announced yesterday by the UK's Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab. He said the individuals sanctioned have been involved in some of the most notorious corruption cases around the world, certainly felt here in South Africa. Raab added that global Britain is standing up for democracy, good governance and the rule of law. And he added, and we quote, "We are saying to those involved in serious corruption, we will not tolerate you or your dirty money in our country." Then in the same vein, very much so, but staying in Europe, Italian police have carried out raids across the country, arresting some 30 people suspected of operating for the Nigerian Black Axe Mafia syndicate. Police say those arrested face some 100 charges, including drug and human trafficking, prostitution and internet fraud. The syndicate allegedly used the Bitcoin cryptocurrency to carry out illegal financial transactions. Black Axe emerged from Nigeria in the 1970s and has since gone on to build a powerful international network and is one of the most notorious secret societies to have emerged from Nigeria. And now onto a brilliant story brewing locally. Oscar-winning docu seen as a major boost for conservation. Among the umpteen tributes and messages of praise received during the course of yesterday for My Octopus Teacher's big big win as the best documentary at the Oscars ceremony in the United States was also one from the Western Cape Premier Alan Winde that came to the team involved in the production of this amazing docu. Winde said it was an extremely proud achievement, the first time a film from Africa had bagged this exceptional award. And it tells the story of a relationship that developed over the period of an entire year between filmmaker Craig Foster and an amazing octopus in the sea just off Simonstown. Meanwhile, the Sea Change Project, an NGO which endeavors to raise awareness of the ecological importance of South Africa's seaweed forests, has said the Oscar award also meant international recognition for them as well. And spokesperson Swati Tyagarajan said their work focuses on kelp forests and their protection, and it was their fervent hope that the film would inspire people to protect nature. The film, by the man starring in it, Craig Foster, Pippa Ehrlich and James Reed, was made in collaboration with the Sea Change Project, and we certainly tip our hats to everyone involved. That's where we leave our news headlines. Let's get into the sport. Into round 5 of varsity rugby, and UCT's Ikeys, they're out on top. They thrashed CUT's 76-5 in a top-of-the-table varsity cup clash at the Tuks Stadium yesterday. The Ikeys running in 12 tries on the day, 3 of them coming from their fullback Ati Ghazi. Then in the second match, UP Tuks, they survived a late scare from UWC to claim a hard-fought 31-25 win over the team from the Western Cape. Then there'll be 3 fixtures in the varsity cup action to sink your teeth into today. It's UJ taking on the UFS Shimlas at 3 p.m. Then a bottom of the log clash, Wits taking on the Madibas at 5 p.m. Then defending champions Marties, they'll look to get into a playoff position up against the NWU Eagles. Then on to cricket. England captain and big hitter Owen Morgan, he guided his Kolkata Knight Riders to a 5-wicket victory over the Punjab Kings at the Narendra Modi Stadium in the Indian Premier League yesterday. Punjab posting a meagre total of 123 for 9 in their 20 overs. After a couple of early scares, Morgan hitting 47 from 40 deliveries, and Rahul Tripathi is 41 from 32 balls, leading KKR to a 126 for 5 total and a comfortable win in the end. In the IPL today, it's the Delhi Capitals taking on the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and that one kicks off at 4 p.m. And then finally, one footballing encounter on the cards last night. Leicester City ended up claiming a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace at the King Power Stadium. That was, of course, in the English Premier League late last night. Wilfred Zaha opening the scoring in the 12th minute to give Palace the early lead. Then Timothy Castaigne equalised for the Foxes in the 50th minute to make it 1-1. And then the man of the moment, Kelechi Iheanacho, scored the winner in the 80th minute to make it 2-1. And that win leaves Leicester third in the league, but now 7 points clear of 5th placed West Ham United with 5 fixtures left to go. Of course, it's all going to go down to the wire for those Champions League spots in the Premier League action, and that continues on Friday. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take another look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures. A great way to greet the day this Freedom Day.
Thank you so much, G-Man, for that sports update, but also thank you to all of you that have taken the time to share your sunrise images with us this morning. We really love to see how you start the day in your part of the country. Now, for your 7 a.m. update, we have received this stunning image overlooking the ocean from a regular Louise G. Sherry from Amanzimtoti. Now, today you can expect intervals of sun and clouds with temperatures reaching 31 degrees Celsius. Another one came through from Zahaida Bakus, also shared this beautiful image of the sun rising through the trees in her area. And of course, if you too would like to be featured during our sunrise segment, it's really very simple. All you need to do right now is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your sunrise photo with us, and who knows, you may just see your photo here next time. Well, we do like to include our growing international audience who tune in via YouTube and on the Africa channel. We are giving you a weather update for Tripoli in the African country of Libya. Now, Tripoli experiences hot and dry prolonged summers with temperatures often exceeding 38 degrees Celsius. However, today will reach a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius with some hazy sunshine. In other news as well, Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison has resisted pressure to set more ambitious carbon emission. This while other major nations such as the US, UK, Canada, China and Japan vowed deeper reductions to tackle climate change. Addressing the Global Climate Summit that was chaired by US President Joe Biden, Morrison said Australia was on a path to net zero emissions, but stopped short of setting a timeline. Australia is one of the world's biggest carbon emitters on a per capita basis, and Morrison, who has faced sustained criticism over climate policy, said action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions would focus on technology. In contrast, the US president pledged to cut carbon emissions by 50 to 52% below 2005 levels by the year 2030. This new target essentially doubles the previous US promise. Right now, it's time to have a second look at the temperatures for today. We kick it off with Polokwane. Do expect a low of 12 today, peaking at 28. Umbumbela, for you, it is a low of 14 and a high of 34. Pretoria, 13, 27. Johannesburg ranges from 11 to 25 today. Mahikeng, for you, it is a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 29. Klerksdorp, 9, 30. Kimberley coming through with a low of 9 and a high of 27. Bloemfontein ranges from 6 to 26 today. Richards Bay coming through with a low of 20 and a high of 31. Pietermaritzburg ranges from 15 to 32. And then South Africa's playground at Durban ranges from 21 to 31. If you're out and about in Mthatha, do expect a low of 13, peaking at 30. East London, 15, 23. Craddock ranges from 8 to 27. Tebega, 13, 21. George, for you, it is a low of 12 and a high of 20 with a 55% chance of rain. The mother city, Cape Town, can experience a low of 13 and a high of 20 with a 55% chance of rain as well. And then for you, Worcester, it is a low of 9, peaking at 22. Sutherland, 5, 15. And then Uppington with a low of 13 and a high of 26. Whatever you do today, remember to keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh man, we are just kind of reminiscing over that period around 94, how unbelievably special it was for me. Obviously, I wasn't just starting school I was kind of rounding off my schooling. So I was very conscious of what, and we, over that period, our whole schooling curriculum just changed overnight.
Oh yeah, it just was like that, yeah.
Which came with its own kind of complexities. But I can remember,
or something crazy like that.
And suddenly our history and how we learnt about history changed dramatically, thank goodness. But my mom was involved in setting up polling stations, and it started with the referendum and then moving into the elections and being held hostage at one station, and all these crazy things going on. It just, life became real. It was so wonderful. We put it to you guys, what makes this day special for you and what you're going to be getting up to. Look at your Freedom Day smile. Look at that.
That's a free smile.
That's
right
a free smile.
We've got Farida McDonald who's come through and says, good morning, Expresso show. Freedom to me is I'm free. Free from going to work for today. Yeah, we'll be blessed with a public holiday. And free from housework, as someone else can do it today.
Yeah,
She's
girl.
free from cooking, stress, as someone else can do it today. But most of all, I'm free to lay in bed watching my most loved morning show. Oh, Expresso, that I miss so much on other days.
I hope you are in bed still and you're going to stay there for the rest of the day. That's beautiful. And Darusha Narasi is mixing up all of her important days in one. I love this. She says, Freedom Day 2021. I'm giving my 67 minutes in painting my home this Freedom Day white, the color of peace. I love
take those
that,
67
man.
minutes anyway.
Mandela Day every day, girl. Mandela Day every day. Keep those comments coming. We're going to have more performances, more Freedom Day celebrations, and we're going to be back in the kitchen. Stick around.
If your Sunrise Snaps are prize winners, give it your best shot on Expresso, and yours could win you one of those oh-so-chic Nespresso travel mugs. So snap your best Sunrise and post it to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook page with the hashtag Nespresso Sunrise. Winners are announced Mondays on the show, and competition closes the 5th of May. So let's be seeing those morning masterpieces.
Indulge your desires. Be swept away by the fragrance of descent. Take the plunge into impulsive spending until you find yourself deeper and deeper, drowning in debt. In this world of temptation, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Time for a little self-care. You know, we are the self-care romantic gentlemen here. We share a special connection in this space. No, it is. It's vitally important to us. And I think one of the best cures for one of those slump, same old days is to turn to a makeover. Yes, gents can do it as well, whether it be a style makeover, maybe just a haircut that works for me, or just a new health and beauty regime. It's important that we dedicate a little bit of time to making the most of what we have and show off our assets. Even on a public holiday, you know?
Now, the best way to achieve this is to turn to the professionals, and that's obviously exactly why. And what the creative entrepreneur and actor Kevin Nyren, and actor and TV presenter Spesihle, and Vazi, that was his name, and he did this recently and felt like an absolute change. Let's check it out.
In the business of show business, you are your brand 24/7, even when you think nobody's watching.
I'm Kevin Nyren. I'm an actor, model, influencer, and a businessman. I have a couple of businesses on the side that I do on the daily, but acting is my forte.
My name is Spesihle Vazi. I am a TV presenter, actor, man crush Monday, everyday type of person. Yeah, man, I just love having fun and winning.
Self-care means empowering yourself and loving the body that you're in. So what I do is I love to shave. My hair gets trimmed every few months. I know it's quite long at the moment, doesn't look that healthy, but I'm here to fix it.
I'm here today to get a fresh makeover. I haven't cut my hair in a week.
With Vazi, all we're going to do is like a bit of a groom. I'm just taking his hair down to a 0 gap, which means no guard on the clippers, and that's all he really requires.
For Kevin today, we are going to do a straight razor clean shave for him, using both a standard straight razor and a Big Flex 2. So it's going to be hot towels and a steamer with the face cleanse to open up his pores, and then we're going to be using the razors just to clean up his face, take all the facial hair off.
So obviously I've just recently shaved, but I want to know, is there any tips that you have for me when using a blade? Sweet. So Bic has a sensitive shaving gel, which it actually contains aloe vera in it. It's going to soothe the skin while you're shaving, okay? So I mean, that will also prevent razor burn or any of those like skin issues. Okay.
So for shaving at home, if you are going around the neck, you want to pull the skin as tight as possible, just due to the fact that the skin around the neck is very sensitive and it's thinner skin than what you would typically find on your face.
Sweet, my man. How do you feel? Oh, we're done already? Yes. Oh, man, thank you so much. Happy man. Because Kevin's a signed actor, he has to keep the length. Just literally gonna modify the look by just adding a few face framing layers through the front, giving it a little bit more versatility. So he'll have like a slight page boy, and then he can also like wrap it over and like wear it so that it looks long.
How do you feel?
I am so happy with this look. I look fresh. I feel fresh. Sweet. The hair just frames my face. And look at my jawline. Yes. 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 Smooth.
love that. I love what he said, man crush every day kind of a guy. And make today your own man crush and let you be the man that you're crushing on. Take a little bit of time for self-care. Even if it's just to give yourself a beautiful, clean shave, it will make all the difference.
2 flexible blades for a smoother shave. Open blade architecture for an easy rinse. Choose Bic Flex 2 for a closer, smoother shave.
Yeah, it's all about self-care. And when you talk about self-care on the outside, it's also important to take care of yourself on the inside too. And that's using a delicious recipe.
You know that sad feeling when something good is coming to an end?
100%. But then we could always open another crush.
100%. 100% fresh, 100% goodness.
Made with love by Clover.
Yeah, let's get the insides going for all the good stuff. Now, if you're looking for a healthy brekkie for the entire family, 100% I know you are. So what about a colorful crush dragon fruit smoothie bowl? How delicious does that sound? Now, it's a smoothie bowl and it's easy to make, and we've got Teresa Uyate in the building standing by to show us exactly how this is done. Teresa, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm very well, thanks.
I haven't worked with you in so long. I miss you. And thank
got
you
a good
because
one today.
clearly the time has been well spent because you're bringing something incredible, a dragon fruit, which is like superfood of note.
Absolutely.
Hey?
I mean, it's packed with, we were talking about it just now,
Yeah.
vitamin C, antioxidants. So it's a great thing to add to your diet.
And the colors are just enough to get anybody interested in this. I mean,
Yes,
even the
yes.
kids will be like, I want some of that pink and purple stuff. Give it to me, Mom. So what are we doing here? I see
All
lots of
right.
variety, lots of
Yes.
colors, and I'm loving it so
Lots
far.
of frozen fruit. I'm going to just show you. So this is what a dragon fruit looks like.
Right.
And I think it's got the coolest name out of
Obviously, I
all
mean,
the
who doesn't
fruits.
like a dragon?
And I'm just going to show you so that you get the purple variety or you get this one. So you can see it's white inside with little black seeds.
I love it. It's like, almost looks like chia seeds
Yeah,
mixed
it
in
does.
yogurt, and you would never expect such a crazy contrast from that pink outer shell as
So
well.
you can just cut it into segments and peel the skin off, so it's quite easy to work with.
Beautiful.
Okay, so what you want to do is pop your dragon fruit in the freezer.
Okay.
I always do this with my smoothies. Gives it that nice creamy texture.
And that's those are frozen pieces.
Frozen,
right?
yeah, all
Nice.
frozen. We're going to add some frozen banana.
Interesting fact on the dragon fruit, if you guys were interested. You know, it's a cross between a kiwi and a pear.
Well, the flavor is very similar.
Very similar. Like, it's got the sweetness, it's got the crunch, it's got those, the textures and the fiber as well. And it looks so beautiful. It
looks very
Sorry, I
exotic.
know you're putting all these incredible ingredients in here, but you got to admire this thing, man.
It's amazing.
full of such good stuff as well. It's just not just a good looker.
And it's in season at the moment, so it's pretty easy to find.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got our dragon fruit, banana, and our frozen berries all mixed in here.
All right, so those berries as well, obviously we already have vitamin C coming from the dragon fruit.
Yes.
Now the fact that we've got raspberries and
banana.
And banana in
So-
there. That's just an extra potassium fix, an extra vitamin C fix on top of that.
Absolutely.
So the antioxidants are on another level for this. This is
Totally.
beautiful.
And then we're going to add our crushed berry as well,
Okay.
just to get it all mixed together.
Oh, look at those colors come to life. Rich purple. Almost like a pinky. Would you call that purple or pink?
Beautiful. Maybe a magenta? I don't know.
Wow. Magenta. Nice. Well played.
So you can add a little bit of the crushed berry, mix it. If it's too thick, add a little bit more. So you can just kind of judge.
100%. I love that tip.
Yeah.
And I just got to ask you, if I was in a rush, could I drink this just like this? I mean, it looks good
Yeah,
enough to do
totally.
so.
This is good to go.
Ah.
So you can drink, you can pop the lid on, take it in the car to work or to school. Or what
Nice.
we're going to do is pop it in a bowl, and then we're going to add some decorations.
Oh, it looks so good.
Oh,
like,
beautiful.
if you could think of any, let's call it a slush puppy. This
Yeah.
is the slush puppy of all
This is
slush
it.
puppies. It's healthy, it's low in sugar, like we said,
Beautiful.
antioxidants, vitamin C,
Yeah.
the list goes on. It's full of iron as well, which is
Yeah.
synonymous with that rare texture
And
too.
I think especially this time of year, you want to boost your immune system.
Oh, definitely. The
So
seasons
this
are
is
changing.
Perfect for that.
So true. Teresa, you're coming through with the good stuff here today. Wow.
So now this is where you get to be creative. We're adding some coconut flakes and some fresh fruit.
Oh,
You
yes.
could add chopped nuts.
Bringing the rainbow back in this meal. Of course, for you Mzansi at home, if you are looking, or if you've just woken up maybe, I know a lot of you on Freedom Day are celebrating your freedom with a sleep in. But if you're figuring out what's going on here, we're making an incredible smoothie bowl. We're using that incredible Crush 100% goodness. And if you want this recipe inspiration, you guys can, of course, head over to the expressoshow.com. We've got all the info, all the good stuff, and everything you need to get your immune system pumped for the season change.
Yes, all all good. So
Wow,
look at
wow,
that.
wow. So I missed that last part. So after the coconut flakes, what did you add? What are these?
So we added some mixed seeds, some granola, and some fresh fruit. But you could, of course, add anything that you have in the cupboard.
I want to challenge Mzansi. Is there anything else that's actually missing on this plate right now? I can't think of it. We've got carbs, we've got protein, we've got fat, we've got all the good stuff. There's one more thing to do. Have you ever seen me this excited in the kitchen? It's like a nature boy meal on another level. Okay, I'm going to take a bit of the kiwi as well. I'm going to take not a TV bite, I'm taking a nature boy bite.
Go for it.
Oh, yes, that tastes like freedom. It tastes like magic. It tastes like health. It's everything that I wanted, Teresa. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
You've made me happy on the inside as well. I'm so happy about Freedom Day right now. And I think you guys are going to be too if you attempt this recipe. The kids are going to love it as well. It's like a healthy ice cream. It's so good. You need to make this. I'm getting this done. Thank you.
Go.
Wow.
You know that sad feeling when something good is coming to an end?
100%. But then we could always open another crush.
100%. 100% fresh, 100% goodness.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our Freedom Day celebrations, and that is in firm focus right now. For the first time, the will of the people was projected onto the light towers and walls of the iconic and historic site where freedom fighters were imprisoned next to the Constitutional Court. The event took place on the eve of Freedom Day at Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg. And this morning, Vanessa September, CEO of the Constitutional Hill Trust, joins us via video call to proudly, I hope, tell us more about this one-of-a-kind event. Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Happy Freedom Day.
Yeah, happy Freedom Day to you too, and thank you for inviting us to share this amazing campaign with you.
Absolute pleasure.
Vanessa, we got a bit of a glimpse of just what happened on the eve of Freedom Day, but you are right here, you can tell us all about it. What was this Freedom Day Will of the People event all about?
Well, 27 years ago today, millions of people went to stand in the lines to vote for our democracy. And we want to invoke that energy and that vision that people had then. The reason why this campaign came about is because of the calls to defend our democracy. We've just felt over the last while our democracy is really under threat. And so we want to, and of course, if our democracy is under threat, then our families are under threat, our livelihoods. And we wanted people to remind themselves that we had once an amazing vision, and as the people of South Africa, we have the power to continue to make change. So we wanted to ignite that passion that people had in 1994. And so in that way, we're calling on people to declare their will for a better South Africa. And so that's how it came about. And the way that we are going to present this information is, or to entice people to come and present their stories and to make it known, is to present the messages onto these light towers, which are standing on Constitution Hill. Now, the light towers are built on the old staircases of the awaiting trial prison.
Wow.
I don't know that the prison complex on Constitution Hill is where many people were locked up. Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Freni Janwala, Helen Josephs, and others. And so when our new constitutional court had to be built, that was the site that was chosen to transform the old site of pain into a site of hope and a beacon of light. So one of the prisons, there were 4 prisons on the hill. One of the prisons had to be demolished, unfortunately, but the architects kept the stairwells, and then on top of the stairwells, they built these light towers. And these light towers to be a beacon of light and hope, not to be a place of pain, but to be a space of imagination and inspiration for people to see that the glow of their human rights, equality, and dignity and freedom.
I absolutely love it, lest we forget. And I'm so glad that you've said we need to remember these ideas and what was being fought for and the hope. I can remember the hope of that time and how amazing that felt like and how badly we need that now. I think this year of COVID has held a mirror up to ourselves, and we've seen our society again, and we are looking for a new way, and you have found a very new way of looking at a very old idea. I absolutely love this. And I've got to ask, because you seem very, and I would assume you have to be very personally connected to this. What is your hope that South Africans will get out of this project? What is your personal hope for the country? And can people still write their messages?
Oh, absolutely. People can write their messages all the time. So,
brilliant.
So my hope as a child who grew up in Bridgetown, and having gone back to school when I was 32, so that I could get to university to study architecture, and now our kids have the opportunities to do that without these trials and tribulations that our earlier generations had to jump over. So the idea that South Africa can be the space where everybody realizes that there's a platform, the Constitution provides for the framework for all of us to have our dignity, our humanity, and our freedom upheld. Of course, it's up to government to help us to realize that. So it's a combination of our energy, the energy of government, but really the Constitution provides that platform. And in the preamble, in the first part of the preamble, which is really the document that we draw on as our manifesto in the We the People movement, speaks to the idea of recognizing the injustices of our past. So that, let me find my preambles. I just want to read that with you without making a quote mistake. So to recognize the injustices of our past, to honor those who have suffered for justice and freedom in our land, to respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and to believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. So if I have a wish, then it's a wish for us to feel that we really belong together, united in our diversity in this extraordinary country, South Africa. I mean, we've showed the world considers that we were a miracle. We weren't a miracle. We were the result of our country is the endeavors of hard work and pain and suffering and loss of human life and limbs and eyes and so on from very many. And it would be unfortunate that we forget that there were so many who had fought so hard and so valiantly in order for us to have this constitutional democracy. And so for the young people today who don't really know the story, we've developed an online exhibition and curated archive that speaks to how our constitution was made, how the different communities of people had debated, negotiated, minutes of meetings of CODESA, the Constitutional Assembly, to show just how many people were involved in realizing this constitutional democracy. So really, it is up to us to defend our democracy. We totally support and we're inspired by the Defend Our Democracy campaign on people not to be idle, but to stand firm and to use their voices. And that's our call today, is to say, come on, bring your voice, bring your words, and declare what you want for this country.
I love that. Thank you for using your words. An amazing constitution that came at great cost and great sacrifice, and we cannot forget that. But it is one of the best constitutions in the world, and it's time for us to live that. Thank you so much to the CEO of the Constitutional Hill Trust. Vanessa, you have been amazing. You are doing amazing work. Keep fighting that fight. It's been such a pleasure connecting with you this morning.
Thank you, and have a good Freedom Day, all of you, and everyone in the country.
You too.
Thank you.
You know, right? Inspired, just beautiful. And I think on this day, let us reflect on the history and also the significance of this day as a country. We wish you all a happy and a peaceful Freedom Day. And here is some entertainment just for you.
Yeah, just for you, Mzansi, on this beautiful Freedom Day. Noza is still in the building, and she's about to perform one of her incredible singles. Now, this one is something you want to sit down with, celebrate, jam, do whatever you need to do, but just enjoy it, and it's called Slow Down.
Slow Down.
Take it away.
Slow down, girl. just wanna lay my head next to you. Kisses for my love.
Strap yourself in to this hand-built 5-liter sedan. An engineering marvel that could drive your spend into the red. Accelerating your lifestyle beyond your means. In this world of chasing status, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's S3, we're opening up, and it's Freedom Day. And we're about to talk about technology. Yeah, a very interesting thing indeed. Now, would you believe me if I told you, guess this, this is incredible. You can turn your cell phone into a payment receiving device. G, how's it going over there?
I'm just kind of going through the motions. Yeah, I've been using this for a while, so it's really simple to me, but this is a game changer when it comes to small businesses. So if you're a small business owner, your customers can now tap their card on your phone. It's a game changer and it's a money saver. Have a look at this.
This one here is for the dreamers and the doers. If you were born with the hustle and dream of starting your own business, I'm here for it. And guess who else is here for it? Nedbank. They've launched Tap on Phone, which is all about transforming your mobile phone into a point-of-sale device, making accepting payments a lot easier. It's exciting, and I'm here to find out all about it. Chipo, you've been hard at work, and I really do love it when technology and innovation help ordinary people transform their businesses and become extraordinary and help them level up. How is Tap on Phone doing that for small businesses?
It really is a game changer. And I mean, let's just recap what Tap on Phone actually does. It's just the ability to convert your mobile handset into a digital payment acceptance device. What does that mean in simple terms? It means you don't need an additional hardware as in a point-of-sale machine to be able to accept digital payments.
This is mind-blowing for me because how does this technology work? How am I able to transform my phone into a point-of-sale system or device?
It operates on an Android machine or an Android phone similar to what I have. Secondly, it must be NFC enabled. And all you have to do is download the Nedbank Pocket POS app, register as a merchant, and you're ready to trade. It's really that simple.
What sort of business would benefit from this sort of innovation?
Tap on Phone is a real differentiator, particularly for small to medium-sized enterprises. The ability for them to be able to accept digital payments on the go with no additional cost is really growing their businesses, not just in the retail space, but in a lot of other industries like the healthcare. Also, people have got side hustles, right? And they want to be able to accept digital payments. There's nothing more painful than rendering a service or selling a product, and then you have to follow up for payment post that. So we're taking that all away, stripping away all that pain and saying, just turn your handset into a digital payment acceptance device.
Well, a big thing we're seeing in how we're doing banking these days is a lot of it is moving into the digital space, but there still are skeptics out there who are unsure about how safe and secure those payments and tapping their cards against the phone might be. How are you going to put us all at ease?
Contactless payments, as we call them, that when you tap your card against the machine or against the phone like we're talking about, those contactless payments are actually more secure than a lot of the payments that we used to do in the past. But let's get back to this particular technology. So it uses the same security protocols that a physical point-of-sale machine would be using or would have used in any case. So it's much, much more secure. And the fact that it's a phone that you've got with you all the time even makes things better. So don't worry about anything. Everything is covered.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm actually about to go meet a small business. It's a local butcher. And then I'm going to see how they are putting Tap on Phone to use in real life.
I'm so excited that you're going to see it live and in action. Tell them I said, what's up?
Shani.
Hi.
Salam,
Alaikum
salam.
salam. How are you?
Good, Thank you. I'm at your shop. I'm very excited.
Yes, welcome.
How has Tap on Phone transformed your business?
Okay, so the Tap on Phone feature is actually a blessing because now in times of COVID, it has actually made transacting with customers way more convenient, where now we don't need to hold the cash, customers don't need to hold the device, so you just simply pull out your phone, put in the transaction, and they tap their cards and they're good to go.
Even for me, Tap on Phone is mind-blowing. I imagine that customers must be quite shocked that all they have to do is tap their cards on your phone. What's their reaction been?
A lot of customers were quite surprised with the new feature that, hey, you know what, I put it on my phone, they just tapped, and they were good to go. When I told them, hey, okay, we're done here. Like what? That was quick, that was easy, it was very convenient to do also.
Shani, it sounds like you're enjoying the benefits of having Tap on Phone and how it's transformed your business. You can't leave all the other small businesses behind. How would you advise them to also get Tap on Phone?
Basically just convenience, convenience, convenience. That's all I can tell you. It's the best thing that Nedbank could have added to their apps and to the Pocket Pass feature.
Well, you're the Spice Queen. I love to eat. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I mean, anyone who watches the show will tell you this.
Yeah.
This is magic.
Yeah.
Which spices should I get, Shani?
Wow, let me suggest to you what you need.
Okay.
Basically, the one you've got to try is 9-in-1 for all your braais and marinades.
Okay.
The mother-in-law, of course. There's no father-in-law, please.
You get nowhere without the mother-in-law.
And natural antibiotic, turmeric, of course.
Classic.
And of course, we need that aroma coming from your kitchen. While you're cooking,
yum.
let your neighbors get jealous.
Now I'm hungry.
So coriander powder, or well known as dhana powder.
Okay, well, listen, it's time for me to pay. You got my full attention. You're invited for dinner. But listen, there's going to be lots of cooking taking place.
I can't wait.
So we're going to pay.
Okay.
Oh, I don't need to go to the till.
No,
Right
you
here.
don't.
A queen ready to tap on the phone.
So it's actually quite easy and convenient. All you need to do is log into your Pocket Pass app, put in the amount, and tap your card. It's that simple.
Okay. And it has gone through.
Yes, it's actually quite successful.
Awesome.
I can either SMS you the receipt or email it to you.
Thank you so much, Shani. You've been so fantastic.
Yes, it was a pleasure meeting you too.
Catch you later. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You know what? Technology is meant to make life easier, faster, and convenient. I'm all about Tap on Phone, and you should be too. Listen, I'm also about some delicious spices too. Happy eating.
It's as easy as that. I don't know if that made me want to go out and shop or made me hungry. A little bit of both. I'm now dying for a really good curry. I don't know why. Well, if you want to sign up your business with Tap on Phone, then it's as easy as downloading the Pocket Pass app on your NFC-enabled Android device via the App Store.
Yeah, and if this is something that would be of value to your business, then we'd love to hear from you, of course. So let us know on Expresso's social media pages what you think of this incredible new way to pay, a new way to make money and magic.
So hungry now.
Well, while you are on social media, spread some love for this amazing performer who is going to be performing for our Freedom Day. But I come bearing gifts for her. So complimentary from us, the Expresso Feel Good Breakfast Show. I have a gift for you.
Thank you so much.
It's a juicy kaboom.
It's a juicy kaboom.
You know, can I try one?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
You can, if you want, you can share with the team, the band, because they're looking like they also want to get into the juicy kaboom. Or not. Look how she's side-eyeing. She's like, oh no!
You know the crazy thing is, I was looking at the sweets the whole morning, and I literally went into the kitchen and I asked, could I have one? Like, actually, you can have a whole packet. I'm like, oh, that's more than I asked for, so thank you so much.
You know what? Seeing that it is Freedom Day, I think you should go ahead and share with the band. Go ahead. Go
Are you
ahead.
guys sure?
Of course, Maynard's home of the hashtag Juicy Kaboom offers a range of mouth-watering fruity gums and jellies which burst with flavor in your mouth, leaving you feeling refreshed when you need it the most, like the performer is going to need it right now to take us into this Freedom Day. So what better way to refresh and re-energize our guests on the show this morning than with a gifting jar filled to the brim with the fruitness of Maynard's gum and jellies to refuel them for the day ahead. You guys are all refueled. You're ready. Can we do a bit of a mic check?
It's a juicy kaboom.
Juicy kaboom, yeah, on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, everybody.
Maynard's It's a juicy kaboom!
S3 is the new home of the Safters, so open up with S3 in your Feel Good Breakfast Show between 6 and 9 a.m. on Thursday, the 29th of April, as we celebrate the best in film and TV entertainment that Mzansi has to offer.
We'll be leading the wave of the 2021 SAFTA nominations announcements live on the show, so make sure that you watch and follow our Expresso social pages to see which categories we'll be announcing.
Let's applaud the ingenuity and development of new talents and salute the excellence of celebrated South African icons.
Open up with Expresso Morning Show and S3 this Thursday.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Freedom Day continues, of course, and so does all the magic right here on S3. We're opening up and we're back on that Expresso stage. Now, this morning's performance, the first one was absolute magic, and we're going to continue with that. And our artist, Noza Sicholwana, once more is going to do that thing. And on this wonderful Freedom Day, she's going to be doing a stir of souls and beautiful rendition. It's the one from our Nigerian singer Asa's hit 2007 track, Jailer. Take it away.
Chains, you in chains too. I wear uniforms and you wear uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, yes, you a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. I have fears, you have fears too. If I die, yourself will die too. Life is beautiful, don't you think so too, Mr. Jailer? I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without a sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Surprise all my strategies. You possess every part of me. What you don't know, you're a victim too, Mr. Jailer. You see, if you're walking down the marketplace, don't throw stones. Even if you do, you might just hit one of your own. Life is not about your policies all the time, so you better rearrange your philosophies and be good to your fellow man, J-Lo. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without a sin be the first to cast the stone. Mr. J-Lo, Mr. J-Lo, man. Mr. J-Lo, I'm talking to you, J-Lo. Stop calling me a prisoner, yeah. Let he who is without a sin be the first to cast the stone. Mr. J-Lo, You see, if you're walking down the marketplace, don't throw stones. Even if you do, you might just hit one of your own. Life is not about your policies all the time, so you better rearrange your philosophies and be good to your fellow man. 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 You see, if you're walking down the marketplace, don't throw stones. Even if you do, you might just hit one of your own. Life is not about your policies all the time.
Yes, Freedom Day has been delivered. Thank you so much, Noza. It's been an absolute pleasure having you and the rest of the crew in the studio. Of course, man, you've brought the fire and the flames and you've set off the afternoon. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much. And everybody, just brace yourself for this afternoon. It's going to be explosive.
That's awesome. Now, that's of course happening at Stellenbosch, right? And
Yes.
that's the Daisy
At the
Jones
Daisy
Bar,
Jones.
yourself, Warongs. You got Stasher Band, Ashley Hilton. Tickets are $150. It's happening 3 p.m. this afternoon. If you love that, you're going to definitely love this afternoon's performance. So book your tickets, $150 at cricket.co.za, and the rest is a beautiful Freedom Day for you. But right now, let's head over to the news and see what's happening.
It's 1 minute past 8 o'clock, so let's delve back into those national headlines first. The government says it is inviting all stakeholders, including unions, to come up with suggestions on how to resolve the deadlock in salary negotiations. Public service unions and the government's negotiators reached a stalemate after the government said it could not offer any increases. The Minister of Public Service and Administration, Senzo Mchunu, said last week that part of the government's problem is that the country's poor economic position weighs in, which is partly due to the coronavirus pandemic. He said it was essential to find a solution as soon as possible. Staying in South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa says in his weekly letter that the fight against climate change is on track and is considered a national priority. He says there are plans to gradually reduce carbon emissions from 2025, which is a decade earlier, in fact, than expected. Ramaphosa, along with more than 40 world leaders, participated in a climate summit convened by US President Joe Biden last week. And he says the devastating effects of climate change on human lives can be clearly seen in the ongoing droughts in parts of the eastern, northern and western Cape. Now, on the international front, the last patient to be treated for Ebola in Guinea has been discharged from a care center. The World Health Organization, or WHO, says this marks the beginning of the end of the Ebola outbreak in that country. The first Ebola death in Guinea was recorded back in 2016. The WHO has provided Guinea with a newly developed vaccine to bring the pandemic under control. Ebola caused thousands of deaths in several countries, excuse me, in West Africa between the period of 2013 2013 and 2016. Now moving to Europe, the United Kingdom has announced that it has imposed sanctions against the controversial Gupta family and their associate Salim Essa. This was announced yesterday by the UK's Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab. He said the individuals sanctioned have been involved in some of the most notorious corruption cases around the world, as we know all too well here in South Africa. Raab added that Britain is globally standing up for democracy, sound governance and the rule of law. And he added, and we quote, "We are saying to those involved in serious corruption, we will not tolerate you or your dirty money in our country." Now, returning to South Africa, the mother city has built tunnels for an interesting reason. Cape Town has had tunnels built especially for toads. They are believed to be South Africa's first tunnels built especially for these wee creatures. 2 tunnels have been built thus far near Zeekoevlei to prevent endangered western leopard toads from being crushed by vehicles when they attempt to cross the road. What is more, 3 further tunnels are also being planned, and walls will be built to guide the toads into them when they migrate towards the Vlei during their breeding season in August. Louise Baldwin, conservation manager of the Cape Town Environmental Education Trust, which is in charge of the Western Cape Leopard Toad Underpass project, said 5 underpass tunnels are planned for installation along the road, with 2 tunnels 50 meters apart being installed this season. And she added, and again I quote, "During the breeding season we will monitor these tunnels to ascertain the number of toads utilizing them and then determine if there is a decrease in the road mortalities in the area." The Western Cape's Western Leopard Toad is on the red list, in fact, of the International Union for Conservation of Nature, so kudos for their efforts. That's where we leave our news for today. Let's get one last look at our sport. Let's start with Varsity Cup rugby action, and it's all heating up now. UCT's Ikeys beat CUT 76-5 in a top-of-the-table Varsity Cup clash at the Tuks Stadium yesterday. Ikeys were on fire, running in 12 tries on the day, 3 of them coming from fullback Ati Ghazi. In the second encounter, UP Tuks, they survived a late onslaught from UWC to claim a hard-fought 31-25 win over the team from the Western Cape. Then there'll be 3 Varsity Cup fixtures today as UJ take on the UFS Shimlas. That's at 3 p.m. And then bottom of the log, Wits take on the Madibas at 5 p.m. And defending champions Marties will be pushing for that playoff space when they face the NWU Eagles, and that's the late game at 7 p.m. Then on to cricket. England's captain, the big hitter himself, Owen Morgan, guided the Kolkata Knight Riders to a 5-wicket victory over the Punjab Kings at the Narendra Modi Stadium in the Indian Premier League yesterday. So Punjab posted a meagre total of 123 for 9 in their 20 overs after being put into bat. Morgan hit 47 from 40 deliveries, and he was ably aided by Rahul Tripathi's 41 from 32 balls as they led KKR to a 126 for 5 total and a comfortable win in the end. And then in the IPL today, it's the Delhi Capitals taking on the Royal Challengers Bangalore at 4 p.m. And then finally, some midweek football on offer. Leicester City, they claimed a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace at the King Power Stadium in the Premier League late last night. Wilfred Zaha opened the scoring for Palace in the 12th minute to give them the early lead. Then Timothy Cashtain equalised for the Foxes in the 50th minute to see it draw 1 apiece. And then the man of the moment, Kalechi Iheanacho, scored the winner in the 80th minute for the Foxes to make it a 2-1 victory. Now that leaves Leicester 3rd in the league and 7 points clear of 5th placed West Ham United with 5 fixtures to go. It's all going to go down to the wire for those Champions League spots. The Premier League action continues this Friday. That's a wrap of your sport on this Freedom Day. Let's greet the day one more time with some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you so much, G-Man, for that final sports update, but also thank you to all of you that have taken the time on this Freedom Day to share your sunrise photos with us. We love seeing how you start your day. Now, just a quick recap. We started the morning off with Katlego Tempa from Polokwane, who captured this gorgeous silhouetted image showing hues of blue and orange mixed amongst the clouds. And then Letlehonolo Bridget from Nailstrom, also known as Modimole, shared this lovely pastel-hued skyline. Of course, for your 7 a.m. update, we shared this stunning image image overlooking the ocean from a regular Louise G. Sherry from Amanzimtoti. And then last but definitely not least, Zahaida Bakus also shared this beautiful image of the sun rising through the trees in her area. Now, of course, we are sending a shout out to our viewers tuned in by the Africa channel or YouTube all the way in LA, California this morning. Its motion picture industry made the city world famous with the iconic Hollywood sign perched on Mount Lee overlooking the city of Angels. Now, your Tuesday ahead will be cool with partial sunshine and a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. In other news as well, Fagradalsval volcano in Iceland has been erupting for just over a month now, the first eruption of its kind in more than 800 years. Now, multiple fissures have opened up during a series of eruptions, oozing lava resulting in the scorching blanket of molten rock. Now, for now, Icelandic authorities are permitting people to visit the site because the lava isn't flowing fast enough to pose an immediate danger, although toxic sulfur dioxide released from the magma is causing a surge in air pollution in the area. And while thousands of people have visited to take in the amazing views, others had more specific goals in mind. Icelandic band Kaleo hiked up to the lava streams to shoot a live performance, and at least one couple have been filmed getting married there. Right now, here is a final look at the temperatures for this Freedom Day. We kick it off with Polokwane. Do expect a low of 12 today, peaking at 28 degrees. For you, Umbumbela, it ranges from 14 to 34. If you're out and about in Pretoria, expect a minimum of 13 and a maximum of 27. For you, Johannesburg, it is a range of 11 to 25. Mahikeng, 11 at 29. Klerksdorp coming through with a low of 9, peaking at 30 today. Kimberley ranges from 9 to 27. Bloemfontein, for you, it is a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 26. And Richards Bay ranges from 20 to 31. Pietermaritzburg, 15:32. South Africa's playground at Durban ranges from 21 to 31. Mthatha, 13:30. East London coming through with a low of 15 and a high of 23. Craddock, for you, it is a low of 8 and a high of 27. Gqeberha, 13:21. George, 55% chance of rain with a low of 12 and a high of 20. And the mother city, Cape Town, ranges from 13 to 20, also with a 55% chance of rain today. Worcester, for you, it is 9:22. Sutherland, 5:15. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington, ranging from 13 to 26 today. Wherever you do find yourself on this Tuesday, happy Freedom Day to all of you.
Let's talk about money, money, money. This is an interesting one, okay? This is quite divisive because I've got two very differing opinions about this, but I want to put it to you guys. So this morning, we have put a money-based would you rather question on our social media. And the scenario we put forward to you guys is this. You receive 10K in cash, 10,000 green ones in cash.
Boom.
Yeah, Mandelas, Randelas, we love it. You've always wanted to go on holiday, but you also have 20,000 Rand in debt. Would you rather A, pay off your debt with the full 10K, or B, pay off a little bit of that debt and use the rest for a holiday?
That's a tough one. Would you rather? What would you do, G?
You see, everyone is going to try and look responsible and say, no, I'll pay off the debt, I'll pay off the debt. But also, after the year we've had, dude, I haven't seen the bush, I haven't been on holiday for a year and a half now.
So you taking that 10K?
I need to take my family away, man. The value of us being able to do something special together and just free ourselves. Go to a little seaside cottage and not have to worry about wearing masks for 2 days. Can you imagine, dude?
I'm with you, G. Hey? I support you fully. I'm this kind of person that's like, I could save up for like 6 months and never even have the opportunity to go. So while I have the cash and while I have my health, I'm taking the cash and I'm running and I'm having my holiday as well. So I'm living in the now. It's not the best financial advice.
Yeah, man.
We're not really looking towards the future here, but I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's such a valuable memory to create.
Because remember, the experts told us we need to create dopamine in our brain. Because
who
otherwise,
are we to argue with them?
For our future mental health. But let's take a look at what some of you guys said. I have a feeling option A is going to shine.
Let's see, Neha Jade Hussein says, A, pay off the debt with the full 10K. Wow. And then at the end of the day, you have less debt to pay and you can now pay the balance off on a shorter period. Meaning that once the debt has been paid, you can take that holiday. I feel like we should be consulted by these people. They need to help us.
You can be our responsibility. They can be the little like conscience on our shoulder. Sumaya Delwai saying, I want to say pay it. I want to say pay it all off. But then this year has been so bad and good at the same time. We all need a break, Sophie.
I feel you, Sumaya. And then we've got Neo Mopaso or Moposa Sitai says, option B, if I can't pay off the debt in full, I might as well pay 75% of it and use the remaining 25% for remaining money to help fund a relaxing
You made it
getaway.
sound a lot better and logical by putting percentages in there. You made it sound like this is a proper plan. He's written out his budget. He's worked it out. Coliso Lipozo, who says A, and that's been, incidentally, the prevailing choice here. So well done, Mzansi. A is better because the stress that comes with debt is too much. Plus phone calls. I can always holiday another time.
Yeah. Look, I definitely agree. I think you, Mzansi, are far better and conscious with your money than G and I are,
Yes.
clearly. We're the wild ones. We just run wild and we deal with the massive amount of problems later. But
I'll buy nappies first. And then,
and then the rest of it you go, I like that. Well, thank you guys for coming through. We love chatting to you on our social media. Keep it going and keep the conversation flowing. And maybe, just maybe, you might be able to save enough cash to have your own holiday soon. I'm hoping for it.
No matter if you choose option A or B, it's time to take your money seriously. Be like our viewers. Open any transactional account on the Nedbank Money app, which is amazing, and kickstart those savings goals today, whether it's to tackle debt or it's to go on holiday. Come on.
Holiday.
You deserve it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. You're just in time. You're opening up here on S3. Yes, it is Freedom Day, but it's also Health Tuesdays here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And we are speaking about meningitis. Now, World Meningitis Day, commemorated on the 24th of April every year, helps to raise awareness about the potentially deadly disease. Yes, it is deadly. It continues to be a serious global public health issue because it can kill in a matter of hours or lead to lifelong disability.
My anxiety levels are rising as we speak about this. 5 million cases of meningitis are reported every year. Children and adolescents can be most vulnerable to contracting meningococcal infections. And here to tell us more about meningitis and help us with our pronunciation of these terms is medical head and good friend of the show, Dr. Tinus Marais. Doc, welcome back.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's because I'm a parent or because I've kind of seen the way that this has been dramatized, but this is quite dramatic stuff. Maybe the best place to start with this kind of discussion is with a description of what meningitis and meningococcal
Disease.
Right?
Yeah.
Disease.
Well done. You nailed it.
Thank you.
So I think it's important to understand from a definition perspective, meningitis is an infection of the layers around the brain and around the spinal cord. So that's by definition. It's caused by many things. So we get viral causes, and then you also get bacterial causes, and these are the ones that we're more scared of because those are the ones that sort of progress within a matter of hours and have quite sort of serious effects. And three main causes, or three main bacterial causes globally: the meningococcal meningitis that you mentioned, pneumococcal, and then Haemophilus influenza. And because we're in South Africa, TB, unfortunately, also a cause of bacterial meningitis.
On our society. Yeah.
What is the difference between the two, bacterial meningitis and viral meningitis?
Yeah, so it's just the causative organism. So bacterial caused by bacteria, and those are the ones that sort of progress really quickly and unfortunately have quite serious effects and can often lead to death. Not to say that viral doesn't, but as a sort of general rule of thumb, the viral meningitis is a little less serious. We see it can cause hospitalizations. It also obviously does have quite serious effects, but the bacterial one is the one that we're a little bit scared of, and I think for the purposes of today's discussion, thankfully, the bacterial meningitis are the ones we can prevent with vaccines.
With vaccines?
Yeah.
And you've been vaccinated, not for... Well, have you been vaccinated for that as well?
I have.
But maybe you can explain to us the process of what actually happens. Why is it so dangerous, deadly, in fact?
Yeah, so I think, and this is where we usually struggle from a healthcare perspective, is from the moment of infection to serious disease is a matter of hours. You know, it's with other diseases you often see a long incubation period, a sort of slow sign of symptoms, etc. But with the bacterial meningitis, it really can be as quick as 24 hours from infection to really serious disease and fighting for your life. The next issue with that is when you show symptoms, the first symptoms are quite non-specific. You look at someone who complains of a fever or a headache or flu-like symptoms. You know, I'm often reminded of a case that happened at Potchefstroom University where a student got up this morning. She told a friend, "Listen, I'm not going to come to class. I don't feel well. I feel fluish. I'm just going to lie down." And you know, she was discovered a couple of hours later and rushed to hospital, seriously ill, and unfortunately passed away because of the disease. So it unfortunately has that connotation to it, but because it is quite serious, of course.
Are there other symptoms that we should be looking out for? So you said flu-like symptoms, maybe a bit of headache.
Especially in our children.
Especially in our children as well, yeah.
Yeah, so later the sort of typical symptoms present, and that's that neck stiffness. So we often see that especially in the children where they sort of struggle to put their chin to their chest. Other signs that are sort of typical of meningitis, they get the rash. The only issue is the rash doesn't always happen. So it's not like you can find that sign to say, oh, my child definitely has meningitis. So even when you present to hospital with the presenting symptoms, the doctors often have to work through a number of possibilities before they get to the diagnosis. So that's just tricky for a clinician to manage as well. So it's treatable. You can treat it with antibiotics, but looking at this sort of strange symptom presentation, you're against the clock. To get to it is then, I guess, prevention becomes a more important conversation.
A few more questions we'd like to ask the good doctor. We are talking about meningitis, I don't celebrate, but we recognize World Meningitis Day on the 24th of this month, an opportunity for us to raise awareness around a critical topic.
Such valuable information and obviously great warning indeed. Now, when we're talking about a stiff neck as well, it's usually also something that will result from injuries often caused by, let's say, whiplash, sleeping incorrectly in a bad position, or having poor posture. And on top of that, stress is also a factor that could be a result of a serious medical condition too. And one of these conditions we spoke about today is meningitis. But as discussed earlier, having a stiff neck in addition to the flu-like symptoms could be a sign of meningitis, and it should definitely be checked out by a medical practitioner immediately. But if you are experiencing soreness and difficulty moving your neck around, then this workout is definitely for you. So we've got qualified biokineticist Ilona Philander who's joining us, and we've also got Emilia, who's a kinderkineticist specialist, and they're joining us in studio to take us through a few of these ways to relieve neck pain, neck stiffness. And I know there's so many people out there that are just waking up with an issue. So let's give a warm round of applause and a welcome to these beautiful ladies here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I get excited whenever I see powerful ladies doing awesome things, and that's exactly what you're doing. So speaking of neck issues, I mean, what can be the cause of it?
Okay, there's so many things that you can look at. Like you said, a few things like stress could be a factor. You should look at basically, is it an injury that occurred? Is it localized pain? Is it just just happening in one area? Is it referred pain, running down the arm? Then you'd look at nerve involvement. So like you said, sleeping patterns, and I think the most important thing is to look at your activities of daily living.
Yes.
Are you in an office job? Are you doing activities where your body is physically demanding, hard labor? So it's looking at those things and then determining, has this been a short-term pain or a long-term pain? And then narrowing it down. Okay, I need to see, like you said, a practitioner or physiotherapist, or is it at a point where you just need some strengthening work? So it's firstly identifying for yourself what has happened. Have I done something that has caused this pain, or is it just something that has popped up, like you wake up in the morning, oh, my neck is here.
Yes.
So basically it's just looking at that signs and symptoms, and like you said with meningitis, so if it's a chronic case, you'll have extra signs and symptoms like fever and headache and so forth, where if it's just muscular or joint related, then you'll know that it's just localized pain.
Beautiful. I love that advice. So look, I could spend the entire day with you, and I would, but for the sake of time, let's get into the good stuff, and let's share some of these beautiful tips. Maybe you got something that can relieve the pain from Mzansi. What can we go through to associate and assist with that neck issue?
Okay, perfect. So I would believe in the 3 S's. I think stretching, and then strengthening, and then supporting the neck as well.
Strengthen, and support.
Yes,
the 3 S's. All right, so let's get going.
Okay, so stretching at work, basically you can just start off with tilting your head to the side. So you want to feel a bit of a stretch down here.
Yeah, going almost towards my shoulder, is that correct?
That's what you want to feel. So you don't want to be tilting your head, just laterally bend it, and then relax and change it over to the other side.
While we are doing this, Kim, Amelia, sorry, I've got to ask you, you're a kinderkineticist, so you specialize in working with youngsters, children and kids. Yes. Is a neck issue something that's also prominent with the kids, or is it only for old people maybe when we wake up with a stiff neck? Or
I'd say mainly older people, like you say, because, there's more stress on us as adults or grown-ups. Kids still have time to play, and if they do have a stiff neck, we tend to do maybe massage. As well as stimulation with the kids.
Ah, so beautiful. All right. Well, I'm loving this so far. Already feeling a little bit of a looseness. What's the next movement that we can do?
So basically, you can do some range of motion exercises, which is basically just chin to shoulder. You start over there.
Shoulder,
okay, and then what you do is we call it half moons. Okay. And you can just slowly roll down, roll over to the other side, to the other shoulder.
Ooh,
good.
I like
you should feel a bit of resistance.
I'm feeling a bit of tension at the back of my neck now. Is that correct?
Yes, you would feel that. That's just giving an indication that your posterior side is quite tight. So you want to look at, releasing your traps as well.
And that's obviously something that's very associated with the neck. That's the traps coming through from the back of the neck all the way down between those shoulder blades, right?
Yes, no, definitely.
And again, I would imagine that this is something that could also assist us with posture. And that's overall breathing, overall general health too, right?
Yes, no, definitely. I think in an office space like you tend to want to slouch. And that's the thing, sitting on
like this.
or sitting on the bed and doing your homework or watching Netflix and you're just crossing your legs, and automatically you're not engaging in your core. So basically at work it's just tightening up that core, setting that scapula backwards, chest out. That's what you want.
Setting your scapula backwards, right? And that's the shoulder blades in our back, right? From Mzansi over there, that's curious, okay. So sitting back, I'm standing up tall, okay?
Yes, so what you would want to do is how you can practice, setting that scapula. You basically want to get that scapula rounded to the back, stabilizing. So what you want to do initially is to feel your scapula going in and going down. That's one set. So stabilize. So pushing it down, in and downwards. That you can do against the wall.
So almost like trying to put it in my back pockets.
Yes, so like just
tucking it in there. So Mzansi, if you're trying this without now, you're getting this weird feeling at the back of your back. It's almost like sometimes they have those little wings sticking out.
Yeah.
Those are what we're talking about right now. This is what we're trying to activate to get that mobility going.
Yes.
So I know we're running out of time, but I want to squeeze one more out of you because I'm always so blessed when I get powerful women sharing incredible knowledge. Do you have anything more that we could do to help the neck?
So basically what I would say is a chin tuck. So it looks like a chicken head, so people feel quite awkward doing it. So what you can do it laying down as well, but you basically just want to tuck the chin and release. So strengthening up the neck.
I like this, like a turkey dance.
So so you can do it laying down as well, where you feel more support, and people will not feel as conscious doing it. But I think just focusing on supporting structures, it's not just the neck, it's like you said, the traps, the pecs, engaging in your core. So if you have that supporting structures, you'll improve your posture overall.
Well, Alona and Amelia, thank you guys so much. You've definitely made me work up a sweat yourself. 100% going to refuel, of course. And cheers to the incredible work. And you guys at home, Mzansi, I'm sure you love this beautiful neck relieving exercises. Let us know how you found them, and of course I'm hoping that it's just going to alleviate all the necessary pains that you have and free you up on Freedom Day. Cheers.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to our Freedom Day celebrations. Yes, but also, lest we forget, it is a Tuesday, which means we delve into health topics, and continuing with today's discussion on meningitis with medical practitioner, medical head, Dr. Tinus Maree, and he is still with us. Meningitis can be a very serious disease. It is sometimes hard to detect, as we discovered in our first conversation, and can strike at any age, particularly with young people. So Dr. Maree is going to be telling us how the disease now is contracted and how it can be prevented and treated, probably the most important part. I've got to ask this because is it something that is contagious? How do we get it? Can one thing lead to that infection? How does it actually, and both the viral and the bacterial?
Yeah. So looking specifically at the bacterial one, so we call it droplet spread. So that's by close contact. So you get the organism in your, it's a big word, nasopharynx, but it's in your nose, sort of towards the back of your nose. It's called your nasopharynx. So a percentage of the population are actually asymptomatic carriers. So there's no other harborer of the disease but humans. So a percentage of the population are asymptomatic carriers, and they're then able to spread it to people who perhaps are a bit more prone to then
compromised
contracting the disease. Yes.
To getting the disease. Prevention is obviously better than cure. How can we then prevent ourselves from getting it? And with regards to the vaccine,
don't say wearing a mask. Please don't say wearing a mask.
Well, I mean, now that you say it, I kind of have to touch on it. So we have found that globally, because of our social distancing and mask wearing, the numbers have in fact dropped. But we know, from a sustainability perspective, we hope that one day we're going to go back to a bit more of a sense of normal, and then all of these respiratory contracted diseases obviously will see increase again, and then we need to look at something like prevention. And thankfully for the major bacterial causes, we have vaccines, most of those in childhood, obviously because children are a little more have a greater propensity to contracting the disease and a serious form of it. So that's why the vaccines are positioned for kids. But later in life also, you may want to consider vaccinating if you're a student, if you're traveling to a country that's endemic, those are sort of moments you might want to consider vaccinating again.
How do you check something like that? Where do we go to? Do we go to Dr. Google? What's the best?
Well, I mean, I think in South Africa we actually have a great setup where a lot of our pharmacies now have nurses in them, and a lot of these nursing practitioners are actually very well schooled in terms of what vaccines you can receive. So that's a good spot to start. We have a great network of travel doctors and practitioners in South Africa, and your generalist or your general practitioner will certainly be able to.
I'm phoning you, my friend.
I'm
phoning you, buddy.
You're welcome to.
We spoke about the vaccine, but what other treatment options are available if you do contract meningitis?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, it really is treatable. So there's good antibiotics to treat it with if you're diagnosed. The only issue is that you're sort of running this race against time. And despite treatment with antibiotics, depending on how far the disease has progressed, it does have what we call quite serious sequelae. So that could be loss of limbs, it could be loss of hearing in the case of kids.
What does it actually do? Sorry to excuse me interjecting, but it seems so damaging. What does it do within the brain that causes
So two sort of major presentations is the meningitis presentation, which then anything related to your brain, you know, when we look at kids, that generally impacts their developmental state and their milestones quite intensely, and everything around your brain. So that's where the hearing loss could come in as well. And then if it presents with what we call a septicemia, which is more a blood-derived infection, any kind of end organ damage. So that's sort of where you get loss of limbs or maybe loss of organ function. So people lose kidneys, or so yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, like I said, let's focus on the
but it is preventable, and there are vaccines available, and we seem to be sitting at the forefront of that. Thank you so much for terrifying us this morning, but also informing us and making us feel a little bit more comfortable that we're in good hands when it comes to our local medical practitioners, and your pharmacists can really help as well. We'll hone in on a brilliant pharmacy a little bit later in the show. Right now, let's fill those tummies with something that's going to boost our health and our immune system.
We've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
Classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back. Yes, and if you joined us earlier, we are doing something a little bit more bowl-like, and we're saying goodbye to the boring beef mince recipes. Now, our Clover Classic beef bowls are super tasty, super easy, and it's ready within minutes. And it's made with just a few ingredients in these beef bowls, or you can put in a plate. They can be packed full of punch, full of flavor, and refreshing textures, which are just perfect for those midweek meals. And you're going to show us how. Where's Teresa? So we made smoothie bowls earlier, right?
Yes.
And that was some good carbs, good fiber, good vitamins.
Yes.
Now we're moving maybe a little bit more to the protein side.
The
making
savory.
a beef bowl, yes, savory,
Yeah,
that's the one.
We're doing dessert and the mains the wrong way around.
It's okay, it's freedom. We've got no rules today. We can do what we want.
Love it.
So what are we doing here?
Okay, I'm going to ask you to start on our pickle,
Certainly.
while I'll do the beef. So I'm going to
Right.
start with our Clover Classic, which I'm going to melt in our pan.
Okay, you just told me to just do this, like I know what's
Can
going
you start by?
Help me.
Can you start by chopping our herbs?
All right.
So we've got some
Mint and G's favorite, coriander.
I know.
Ah, yes. And how fine am I chopping this?
So just roughly chopped is
Okay.
perfect, and I'm going to start frying up some garlic, some ginger, and yeah.
You already use the classic spread, which is not just like cool to just put on a spread, but you can also cook with it too, I think, which is quite versatile.
Very versatile. So I'm just going to cook these for about 30 seconds. I don't want to burn that garlic.
All right.
But it's just going to give us some lovely flavor.
How hot was that pan before you popped it in there?
Hot enough, I think.
I just love that sizzle every time.
Oh, lovely.
You know something's going down.
Yes. I'm going to add our mince now. And this I'm just going to brown. So nice and easy.
So you're not cooking the mince all the way through?
Just browning it to start.
Okay.
And then what you've got there is you've got some sugar, some vinegar, some chili.
Some chili, I see some red pepper, I see
Yes,
some
some
carrot for the eyesight, some good oils as well.
Yeah.
What am I actually making?
So
I'm
that
still
is
trying to figure it out. What is it going to become?
So this is our pickle that's going to go on top of the beef. So it's going to add some lovely
okay,
texture
so this we
and
can just
flavor.
put together and toss up, right?
So you can put that all in the bowl
Sweet.
and give it a
Get
good mix.
going.
And I'm going to do the sauce.
Extra coriander for you, my friends.
I'm doing a sauce for our mince. So I've got some brown sugar, some soy sauce, and some sesame oil.
Right.
So I'm going to blend that together. So there's lots of beautiful flavor in this dish.
It is indeed, and I mean,
Really, really
we were
nice.
talking about color earlier. Although this is a more savory meal, like you said, I still see some good colors here. We've got greens, we've got reds, we've got orange, and we've got some other varieties coming through from the meat as well.
Yep.
So I'm not complaining at all when it comes to rainbow foods.
And the more color, the better, I say.
Yes, yes, bring it on.
More nutrition. Right, so this mince is coming along nicely.
So, Teresa, I've got to be honest, this is smelling like a good salad on its own, really.
Yeah.
So simple, but yet it's like, I could make a meal out of this.
It's so nicely balanced. It's got the texture from the crunchy vegetables. So that you can just mix. Maybe do that as your first step and set that aside while you cook the rest of the meal.
All right.
Just let the flavors develop.
Voila.
Beautiful. It looks great.
So how are you looking on your side in the pot?
This mince is looking good, and I can smell that garlic and that ginger, and it works so beautifully with the soy sauce, of course. So I'm going to pour this in now.
While you do, I must just say, I'm actually very impressed. So I obviously had some of that smoothie bowl earlier.
Yes.
Once I chow into this, all my macros are sorted.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
You see,
I can just
look
go
after you.
I can be free for the rest of the day.
Right on theme.
I see now what you did with that mixture.
So-
Like, I see it mixing with the mince,
Yes.
browning it even more.
And just keep breaking up the mince. You want to separate it and just cook it until the mince is cooked through and that sauce has coated everything. And then what you can do is serve it with some rice and then top it with your pickle. So it's going to look beautiful, lots of texture, lots of flavor. And it's a really quick and easy family dish.
Quick and
Nice
easy
and
family
simple.
dish is the perfect way that I would want to show off with the family as well.
Yes, yes.
I see you've already actually prepared one on the side there.
Yes,
So
do you wanna
don't
have a little
mind me,
taste?
Zanzi. I'm just going to sneak over here and do my thing. But of course, for you guys that are looking for some inspiration, you can head over to expressoshow.com where we have all the ingredients, everything you need. You don't even have to think. You just got to do. Read it, and this is what you get, the perfect result. It's called a mince bowl. It's full of protein. It's full of the good stuff. And let me tell you, before I lie, I'm going to really have a taste here.
Looks delicious.
Wow. I was expecting just savory, but there's some sweetness, there's some vinegariness, there's some tang, there's some balance, there's some warmth.
Yeah.
And there's obviously all that goodness and the texture from the meat.
Yeah. A lot of flavor.
You definitely do not want to miss capitalizing on this recipe. Of course, head over to expressoshow.com. Everything that you need is right there. I think Freedom Day has officially been set, Teresa.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Mzansi,
It's a
thank you for
pleasure.
joining us, of course. Go show off and impress the rest of your family and prepare yourself a beautiful, beautiful mince bowl like this. We're using our hero ingredient, Clover Classic. That's what we're cooking with. You can put it on anything. You're probably going to put it on this afterwards as well. Just get some extra butter going. But, Teresa, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
I'm going to go celebrate my freedom. Cheers, guys.
Made with love by Clover.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
you're going to want to pull your seats closer, grab your cup of coffee, because when it comes to tracking that time of the month, it is a great way to keep tabs on when your next period starts, but there's so much more to your menstrual cycle than just a monthly reminder. Tracking every day can help you understand all the cyclical symptoms that you experience, that is from PMS to acne, headaches, bloating, and all the things that come with that time of the month, but most importantly can also aid in family planning and general health. Now we welcome back on your Feel Good Breakfast show gynecologist and obstetrician Dr. Jason Bennett, who will be discussing the importance of tracking as well as what the different days mean. Good morning, Dr. Bennett.
Thank you so much for having me again.
This is so funny because we were speaking about it in the beauty room now. I've never tracked it in my life. I'm just like, when God sends it, it comes. But maybe explain to us why exactly it's so important for us to track our menstrual cycle.
So I definitely believe it's important to track your cycle. Number one, it kind of just gets you to know your body a bit better, okay? Number two, you can be prepared for when you're going to have your period. And as you just said earlier, it kind of does explain the certain things that happen in your cycle. Like you may feel a little bit moody, you may feel a little bit depressed, you may get a bit of acne, some breast tenderness. It really does help explain those sorts of symptoms. But another important aspect is that it can help you plan your fertile period, or when you are most fertile during the month.
So I know there are different apps available and ways to track your periods, but how accurate is it to use one of those apps?
So the apps are very accurate, and I would advise everyone to use an app. They are free, they're most available on most smartphones, and they just make things a lot simpler. If you want to know the mathematics behind tracking your period, what's important to note is the first day that you start to bleed is your day 1. Okay, your period is the time that you're actually bleeding. So most women bleed for less than 7 days a month.
That's God's favorite.
Yep. Your cycle is from the day you start to bleed to the day before the next time you start to bleed. And most women have about a 28-day cycle. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Definitely.
So does that also give someone an indication when they may be bleeding too much and they need to seek medical help?
Definitely. So what I do say is track your cycle, record it, give it a few months, and then go and review it. And you can even review it with your doctor, your GP, your gynecologist, and you can have a look at it together and see how frequently you're having a period and how often you actually bleed, how often you're bleeding and how long you're bleeding for as well.
I definitely see the benefits to tracking because especially when someone is trying to start a family, this will definitely come in handy. When someone is wanting to start a family, when is a female most fertile?
So there are 6 days in a woman's cycle when she's most fertile. So we call this the fertile window, and it's, if you're wanting to have a baby or get pregnant, it's a good idea to have sex during that time. It starts with the first day's ovulation and the 5 days before that. Okay. It's important to note that sperm can live for 5 days, whereas an egg lives for about 24 hours. So to work out your most fertile period, what you do is you work out your average cycle length. So let's say, for example, your average cycle length is 28 days. You minus 14, that gives you your day of ovulation, and you minus 5 from that. So say with a woman with a 28-day cycle, her most fertile period is going to be from day 9 to day 14. Makes sense?
It makes sense.
The apps are really good, and they'll do all the mathematics for you.
And they'll send you little reminders.
Yes.
Will it?
You get a reminder.
Like, now's the time. Okay.
You get a reminder, you get a little image on your day.
Well, it's so important to know, when you're ovulating and all of that. Now, can we quickly track through the different phases that's part of a girl's menstrual cycle?
So there are 2 important phases. So the first phase is the first half of your period, and I call this the growth phase. So this is when the lining of your uterus starts to become thick again in preparation for a pregnancy. The second half of the menstrual cycle is called the luteal phase, the fancy word for it, and it's kind of the maintenance phase. So you've got a hormone progesterone that kind of maintains the lining of the uterus at a certain length. Ovulation is day 14, which is when the egg is released from the ovary and should travel down the tubes. And then your period, or when you start to bleed, is at the beginning of your cycle. So this is when that lining that is developed for the whole period now sheds and it's past.
I know there are also a lot of girls that are on contraceptives, the pill more, but particularly that obviously makes your tracking your period so much easier because you're drinking your daily hormone. I know there's quite a few of my friends that are worried. They've been on the pill since high school. They're now in their 30s. Is that something as a gynecologist that you would, tell them to rather get off for a while, or is it something they can continue to use until they're ready to conceive?
No, that's absolutely perfect to continue using the pill until they're ready to conceive.
Dr. Jason, I think that you unpacked so much today, but it's always so good to have you with us. You become our favorite doctor.
Oh,
Can you see? We're just happy to have you here.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Now, another upside on tracking your menstrual cycle is planning ahead with regards to having pain relief and also anti-inflammatories on hand. Now, Brufen is there to help ease the aches and pains of that time of the month, every month.
Targets pain caused by menstrual cramps. Brufen works where it hurts.
Well, maybe you are thinking you now need a trip to the pharmacy. Well, every Tuesday we bring you the Pharmacy of the Week, a short feature that acknowledges the brave and incredible people working on the front line. And this is our way to say thank you to these brave healthcare workers.
Yes, so proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram, OTC sponsors of the brave. This week's Pharmacy of the Week is based at Randgate Pharmacy. So let's meet the team.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
The people come to us first because we do not charge them to give them advice. First of all, they run in and they get attention immediately. And people come to us with all kinds of different queries. So I love people and I want to help people. And after more than 30 years, that's still what I want to do and still what I do on a daily basis.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Ah, man, and we really do thank all those fighting on the front line. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
In fact, we appreciate you so much. We're going to sing for you. We're going to sing for all of you. We're going to sing for the world.
Oh.
It is that time. I'm going to apologize in advance. It's one of my favorite songs, The World in Union, performed by amazing people, of course, performed in '95 for the Rugby World Cup by PJ Power. So maybe she'll join us in spirit for this one. We'll see you in a moment.
Are you?
It's freedom. It's Freedom Day. I'm so chuffed with you singing today.
No, see, the thing is, I always get the opportunity to look at you guys singing.
Not today,
and I get to judge. And then you rope me in. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
We have to bring you
You're
in
going to be
for this
better
one.
for it because it's Freedom Day. We are going to be free. Okay, we are going to sing with absolute freedom and abandon, if you will. And we are doing actually one of my favorite songs this morning.
Elmo with Maroon 5?
Okay, no, not
Britney Spears again.
Pavarotti, okay? No, it's not Pavarotti. No, it's the World in Union.
What?
Okay, PJ Powers did it for the '95 World Cup, and that was probably, I think that's like part of all of our DNA now, which I love. But it's such an amazing song, a famous song, and we're about to butcher it live.
Should we not leave the memory of PJ Powers doing that just to Mzansi?
No,
Now
PJ encourages a sing-along, so we'll play her, because her version I think is the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm proudly South African, we're going to play it, we're going to sing, and you, all of you guys at home, are going to sing with us. Yes, please. And don't hold back. I want you to run through your house screaming, get into the shower.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'd rather get
Make
into
sure
the shower.
you're singing louder than your TV. It'll help, though.
Close yourself off.
Are you ready, gang? Are you up for this, buddy? I don't know why I'm so excited. That
I don't know why you're excited. Well, you could have picked a nice lower letter.
Do it, man.
I will find what I can be. And when the news all win us all.
Here it comes.
The world in union. Our destiny, a new age has begun. Face high mountains, across rough seas, we must take our place in history. Be the best I can to the goals for every man. If I win, lose or draw, it's victory, victory. Oh, that was a good one. If the world in union. Let's pick it up now. Let's go, as one. Let's pick it up. Here we go. Come on. As we climb to reach our destiny, a new age has
Yo, PJ Powers, I hope you don't watch the show.
Oh, man.
And the thing is, she loves us, though.
She does. I go way back. Me and Peach go way back.
Oh, you know what I'm worried about is actually the facial expressions. I looked at us in the first moment, and yeah, it might not be good for TV.
I am body, or either way, it could be very good for
might
TV.
not,
That
but
might be the flip side. But look, that was exultant. There were moments where it felt free.
You
and
felt
it.
I heard it in my ears.
Did you feel
You were
exactly.
free. I was like, on what key are we? But okay, we got
There's no
there.
key.
There's no key.
There's no key.
There's no key.
There's only the freedom that is the key to our future.
Exactly, that is the key. But
Happy Freedom Day
good
to all
times.
of you.
Good times.
Really?
Oh, happy Freedom Day, South Africa. Happy Freedom Day to you guys. It's been such a pleasure starting the day with you guys. You've been lovely today. All of our guests have been amazing. It really has been a special day, and I've just been reveling in going back to that period of 94 and thinking about that day and just how amazing that period was. We need to recapture that spirit now. We probably need it now more than ever in our country's history. But I think the most important thing is don't forget what has been sacrificed to get us to this point.
So true, G. I think it's just a testament to exactly where we are right now, and the fact that we can be as smiling and be so diverse while we're doing it. I think that's exactly what Freedom Day is about. And let's continue that magic on the show and tune in tomorrow morning.
Because Ralph's taking his clothes off. Ralph's taking all his clothes off.
We've got a Hemsworthy session. So we're going through Chris Hemsworthy, seeing how he got his body in that perfect shape. Of course, we're going to focus on his arms and see if we can replicate it down on the show. And
Hemsworthy abs.
You're going to take off your
if one of you join me, maybe we'll see. Maybe.
If one of us take off our t-shirt, you'll take off your t-shirt?
Maybe, yes. Maybe G joins me.
You're doing it, dude. It's going to happen now. It's been an absolute pleasure. We love you so much. Thank you for sharing in this amazing day with us. Go and enjoy your Freedom Day, South Africa. Adios.
Happy Freedom Day.
In union.
Here's to one last slice of summer and our first taste of autumn. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.